They come in with the next tournament with a big target on their back. They tend to not perform as well as with the first tournaments. You guys don't really seem to have that. You still got really far in the tournament. Why do you think that was?
I think that's because we just don't care about like what happened in the past, and yeah, we're always just trying to be in the present and focusing on the next game, the next round, the next play, whatever.
And now listening to you guys' comms, I've heard Jasmine and a Jessica and a 41 and a 50. Fultz was talking to me about how you guys have these like code names so that A, people can't hear it, but also B, to keep the spirits up. How do you guys come up with these, and how do you make sure that everybody still knows what you're going on about?
Yeah, well, the 41 and the 50 is kind of strategy stuff, but the Jasmine and Jessica, that's all just like purely for vibes, and yeah, we're just trying to like be happy, and I think it cut off like as we were like doing our spiel. But yeah, it's like some ridiculous stuff, and it usually puts some smiles on people's faces, so that's always good. Yeah,
we absolutely saw that. And for today, then, the game plan, because this game has a difference of about $100,000. That must be a thing that's in the back of you guys' mind.
To be honest, I didn't really know, but now I do. But yeah, I mean, we don't like, obviously we want money, but we're just trying to be the best versions of ourselves and go out and execute, do the best we can.
I feel like that's a very good vision. Thank you for your time, and good luck.
Of course. Thank you.
Some nice words from J90 there. How do we feel about that, Iconic?
I mean, just to show you how much they don't care, asking about how he feels about the money, they didn't know. And even, too, when they qualified for this event, I remember I went in their comms after to congratulate them, and folks was like, what do you mean we qualified? He didn't even know. So they stay so detached from what is ahead of them. They only stay focused on the current moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a little bit of that I can relate to. I also can relate to knowing what's coming and seeing that as a positive thing as well. But on the flip side, knowing what's coming is not something GK esports fans have been able to have this year, because in June, they added 3 of the members that you see on here, Grubba, Yaga, and Yoper, to really make this the roster that it is. And now they've proven that not only is this roster ready to go, but they are potentially the 3rd best team at the biggest tournament right now in Siege esports. We'll see how they handle this pressure and if they can do it, as we had Ann sit down and chat with them as well.
We're speaking to Gruby before their final game today. Gruby, I quickly want to talk about yesterday. Surely you're disappointed with a loss against FaZe, but then again, you still brought it close to the reigning world champions. Somewhere you must also be proud.
Yeah, first thing, hello. I mean, I think the game yesterday, obviously we are kind of disappointed that we lost to FaZe, but at the same time, I don't think you can be that much disappointed when you lose to back-to-back champions. I think we still put a fair fight. Like, we won our map, like Shale, pretty convincing, 7-5. I think we could close the game a bit faster. And I mean, the other maps, I think they are just way more experienced in the whole situation that like we had to face. I mean, it's FaZe at the end, so the more mistakes you do, they're just gonna punish you because they have 5 best players in the world. So the game will always be tough to play. And yesterday they played better. I think the consolate was way closer than it looked on the result in the scoreboard. I think the game was really close, but we didn't make it work. Like, they won, they played well. That's all.
And in general, for your first experience here as an international tournament with this team, what was your favorite moment so far? What do you feel like is something you're most proud of?
I think making it to the playoffs and also taking them up from FaZe. I think like proving that we can play the game on a good level, but we are still have like a lot of things to work. But I think just going there, playing our game against FaZe on the first map, like, you know, just we knew this is our map. Like, we knew that we hard work that we put for the whole year. I think, I mean, not maybe a year, just a month, I would say. Like, it paid off, you know, and we are all happy because of that.
That's good, that's good. I mean, you get to pretty tough matches for your last 2 games here. You get to play against the reigning world champions, now against the reigning major champions. What's the expectations for today?
The expectations for today, I think we just need to go there on the server and play our game. Like, we had, you know, there's no pressure for us. You know, it's obviously everyone wants to win, but we won't say no to a 3rd place as a first event for the whole team. So obviously we want to win. We just want to go on the server, do our job. Play.
For every click, every clutch, every respawn, we were there. Now, the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
The impossible doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the hours nobody sees. It starts with a thought that turns into a dream. Reach your impossible.
Play
region, and so certainly they needed to prove that it was worth it, and I think they've done that.
GK, as the maps come up in just a second, have taken a map off of FaZe. He mentioned that in the interview. They beat Furia, and they actually also beat Team Secret, who many people saw having this run and were defending EWC champions, albeit a different roster. What do we need to see from them now to prove it as we take a look at Night Haven Labs as the first pick from GK Esports?
Especially Dark Zero starting on the defensive side, on the attacking side, you have to really make Dark Zero uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like Jano said, they're going to be looking to get into their plays, making sure they're in sync and just being decisive. So GK's going to have to be decisive back at how they want to break those plays and how they want to counter out their defenses here. Dark Zero, they play a very heavy style of rotation on the defensive side. They really challenge you and they make you uncomfortable. So you have to be ready for that. And like they said in the game yesterday, they know it's not going to be easy and it won't be any easier today.
You know, they've had a lot of history on this map, Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bold move. I mean, I know GK are on a 4-win streak on the map, but we saw Dark Zero 7-1 Furia on the map yesterday. Now we see DZ pick Cafe, obviously. A bit of a weird one, in my opinion, because we both saw Dark Zero and GK played at this tournament. It was always close. I think 7-5 victory for DZ against KAG, 8-6 on the side of GK. So not a huge map for these two teams whatsoever.
What's interesting is that now as we take a look at these bands, you see where they've gone. Night Haven's been a big feature. Chalet is our decider map. He mentioned Chalet, the hard work they put on. They took that map off FaZe.
And of course, too, but you have to remember, too, back to the Salt Lake City Major, DZ also taking down FaZe 7-0 on that map. So I feel like it's two big dogs on Chalet coming to FaZe.
I mean, you're managing to beat the world champions, and on top of that, 5-win streak on the side of DZ, 7-win streak on the side of GK, 1-win streak ends today. If we get to a decider, that's going to be a banger.
Wow, that will be a lot of fun as well. We mentioned they both took down FaZe. So you think they might be even from our side. We're surprised to see the 70%, 30% GK Esports. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I know Leo's happy about that one.
Even if I'm biased, I'm surprised. I mean, clearly major champions versus GK, a bunch of guys that just got put together a month ago.
You know, Furia, obviously, you know, they beat Dark Zero, and GK beat Furia. So is it a matchup thing? Is it a timing thing? How these two teams are playing? What do you think?
I think maybe there's a story about momentum. Who wants it more?
Yeah.
GK, they really want to prove that they deserve to be here. They really want to get to the peak of their career. DZ, they've already won a lot of stuff, so I guess maybe that's where it comes from. But even I struggle to explain that result.
The Dark Horse might be in the light now, so I feel like GK fans are starting to show up for him. So
okay,
let's see
you
if they
poet.
can do it.
Hey, man.
Okay, you poet. I see you. I see you.
Man, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That's a Batman quote right there for you. He just told me that he's called Batman. I'm like, how are you going to wait this long to tell me that you're Batman?
Said Batman never reveals himself. You know, I'm in the shadows.
Rain, do you know my last name? Robin.
You mean I got Batman and Robin up in here? What does that make me? Your driver?
Are you Catwoman?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth on that one. I'm actually, I'm not Catwoman. I will actually reveal that is not me. But in terms of finding my footing on the stage, I'll say maybe I have some of these attributes here. It's been a fun week, gentlemen. We get to kick off this amazing Saturday and this third place matchup. Money's on the line, but there's so many other things iconic that these teams are fighting for.
Especially, too, I feel like, again, like Leo said, as a competitor, you have so much driving you to this point. Your whole life has really been building towards these moments. So I feel like you kind of came out weak yesterday. You had a bad showing. Can you close out strong just to build that momentum going into your later half of the season? Important to get better, important to get the reps when you're in front of a crowd, when you're on stage. This is exactly the kind of conditions that you want when you're a pro player.
We are handing out over $1 million of prizing today, Saturday, in R6 Esports. We've got our third, fourth place match, and then our grand finals closing out the day. To kick it off, it's going to be a banger. North America versus Europe here in Paris. What more could you ask for? Let's get it started.
Milos, the crowd yesterday for the semi-final was unbelievable. The sound was wild. I mean, you told me the R6 crowd can bring it, and they really did, but I need to prepare myself for the grand final. This is going to be nuts.
Look, there's been multiple instruments, if you will, that have been brought forward here. Shall we do some testing? I got a decibel meter. I even have a feed on it. So
perfect.
Give me what you got.
Right, well, over here I've got some clappers. Some clappers. Hey, here we go. Ready? Let's see how this works.
86 decibels.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Wow. There was some screamers, some yellers in the audience.
One specific person on the face side, but yes, go ahead.
I'll try. Furia! Face cans!
87 decibels.
Was that really 87? That's pretty good.
Good, pretty good.
We've got one more thing here, though. The drums.
All right.
That's pretty good. I mean, 87, 88, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's not enough. I don't think it really replicates what happened yesterday and what's going to happen today.
Adam, you're missing the force for the trees. All three of them combined with an audience, that is not something you're ready for.
I am so not ready for it, but I cannot wait to see how it looks. Miloš, let's do this thing. Here we go, grand finals. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's right, Paris. My guy, good to see you here. Welcome back, bienvenue à Paris, and welcome back to the Esports World Cup, where today it is grand finals day here for Rainbow Six Siege. It is all about to go down as one team will walk away as champions by the end of the day. My name is Adam Savage. This is the magnificent Miloš. And let's not forget here, a grand final later, but we still have ourselves a third place showdown coming your way. Club championship points up for grabs, tons of money up for grabs as well here. There's still lots and lots to get excited about.
And I'm just going to add it here. Third thing, very, very important. You get to see which region is actually better. Sure, Brazil is best. Yeah. We've all kind of adapted to this over the past few years, but it's a classic NA-EU matchup, NAL-EML going up against one another, and I will 100% abide by the result of this game to see which region is the best. There's no way I am going to change my mind or adapt it in any way, shape, or form.
You're laying it down, Miloš. You laid it down.
Sure.
Do you know what? I mean, you mentioned Europe and NA as well. I'm thinking after this is all over, done and dusted, you and I, imagine this. We go on a road trip, right? We go backpacking into Europe, maybe get a little car, go around the whole of the NA as well, check out North America. Be amazing sightseeing to get.
Hey, Killer Toka, welcome to the stream. Yeah, bro. Welcome, bro. Welcome.
I wasn't that fussed anyway. Go with it's fine. Never mind. What we're focusing on right now is this third place showdown. Who will walk away in third place? Let's find out. Let's meet the teams. First up, would you please welcome to the stage, it's Dark Zero! They came so close to a second final in 2026 on the bounce, but they play now for pride. A huge chunk of prize money up for grabs, and a chance to show the world that the NAL can dominate the EML. How will they fare? Will they manage to dispatch their opponents? Let's find out.
I won't allow you to talk so much smack about my region on this stage while we're here in Paris, but that's just fighting words. Let's bring out their opponents. Please join me in welcoming GK Esports! The last EML Hope have made it here into the third place. Yo, you want to talk about on the other side? You got major champions. They're in third place. You know who's playing on the other side? A team that did not exist only a few months ago. All together, the plucky GK have made it to the third place matchup. Someone no one would have expected. They've defied all of these expectations, all of these thoughts and ideas and feelings that have had over the past few months. Now they're here to prove themselves in their own region.
Oh, yes, they are. Should we ask our teams, Miloš, to make their way forward?
You guys have back.
You can go forward, folks, to your gentlemen, to your places.
Come on in, Jakob.
But asking two players representing our teams to come forward. And,
two players with a bit of history.
Yeah, oh, yes, indeed. Some last words, Miloš.
Come on.
Some fighting words.
All right, I was going first. Yaga.
No, I got nothing to say. You know, we both got our keys crushed yesterday, so we're just going to have some fun today.
And in response, we're getting very close here, by the way. I like this. This is really intense. Any opposing words?
Just don't like this guy.
Whoa.
Bring it up.
This is getting heated in here. On that note, let's send them back to their seats, gents, before this gets too crazy.
We're not even shaking hands.
Back to seats. No, not even shaking. Let's shake hands. Shaking hands. Yes, we are. Okay. I was getting worried for a second. Fellas, incredible scenes there. I like this. There's obviously a relationship there. There's a rivalry, but there's also a friendship there too.
It's just how it is. Once you get into the server, that is when things change. So let's get this one started. A third place matchup. Dark Zero, GK Esports. Let's get it on.
I mean, I might have seen my boy Keon over there up on stage. Man, he's pushing. I remember Keon being a little taller though. He's about 6'3". So at the end of the day, some fun trash talk there. Kino steps back with the squad. Dark Zero guys, Batman and Robin, as I'm gonna call you now forever. We get to set this stage up, man, and it's fun. Both teams seem ready, and that's exactly what you need to be.
I think there are two ways to approach this kind of matchup when you're in their shoes. You can, dwell on the past and you can be disappointed that you're eliminated, or you can choose to have fun.
Yeah.
And I believe both of them have made that choice. I think it's exactly the right approach. You're there is fans, there is a stage, there is money on the line.
Let's
just have fun. The pressure of making SI through EWC is gone. You can't do it. That dream is gone completely. Let's just have fun. Let's just enjoy the moment.
I love it. It's kind of a tough line to draw because it's kind of hard to have fun if you lose on a stage like this. Would you agree? Fun is winning?
But I feel like also too fun is the approach, and I feel like if you have that approach, you can also win right now too. And then that winning, like we said, gives you a lot of money too.
That's right.
They're not playing for the money, but you see the trolling kind of coming out from Kino and Yang, both being ex-teammates, both being ex-teammates of mine. I know their personalities very well, so they're in a very fun spirit right now, so it's going to be a good game.
Now, I know why you don't care about money, because you're Bruce Wayne, dog. Now I understand. Now it makes sense.
Oh,
it's
like
like
Stewart, the guy that builds all the gadgets.
If I'm Alfred, man, I'm trying to get some paper. I'm like, can I get some overtime? Guys, this is fun as well. I love the statement of this is a game that you are kind of battling your expectations from coming into the tournament with what is present in front of you now. For me, that does lean towards Dark Zero having the edge. I think this is a very mental game. I've seen 5 weeks of these third place matches, and it's very hard, I find, for teams to come in with the attitude you would expect if you want to perform. So what do you need now? Let's talk tactically for Dark Zero to make this work against GK, because you got some maps you favor, some maps that both of you are very good on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it's the read into GK's playstyle. We've mentioned it multiple times. That playstyle is very unique. They like to lurk a lot. They like to find gaps, and when there are no gaps, they will like to create them. So for a team like Dark Zero, they need to take a page in the book of what FaZe did, which was getting close to each other, not having enough big gaps, and making sure that there's a trade potential every time you face a GK player lurking around, especially on the attack here.
Getting rid of the Habana here, going to hurt the IT breach. See, a lot of teams like to Habana where the mirror is to counteract not getting C forward. Getting rid of that, let's see if they get rid of the mirror off of that, or they go with the Bandit here. We're getting rid of the Bandit right now, get rid of the Thermite too. You're going to see Ace coming out for the breach. You're going to have to care for the impact trick.
Yeah, look at that. They bring the Mira, or they bring the Azami. Izami will, I'm sure, have the impact. They will place the Mira on that hard breach. It will be all the impact trick here.
They're probably going to Thatcher too for the C4 to counter it. Look for that.
Well, of course, what we needed to do in a battle of North America and Europe is bring in some representatives from Denmark and Australia. That's why we got Dev and Pengu on the cast here. Gentlemen, what do we think heading into this one to kick off our Grand Finals day?
That's a great question, Rain Day. What do we have in for us in a third place matchup when we thought we were about to enter the era of North America? Now it really just comes down to Dark Zero to try and salvage a bit of pride. We have 2 Brazilian teams in the final, and now we have a classic NA versus EU matchup.
You say salvage pride for NA. What about EU getting back some of their own pride, James? Right? EU's been in the gutter for way too long now, and GK, not the team of thought that we left standing here at the very end, representing Europe.
No, not at all. I mean, Team Secret from Europe.
Falcons.
Team Falcons. They were both top 3 at the 6 Invitational.
We have Fnatic. They were there.
Fnatic appeared. Like, how is it that it's GK, the last ones standing for Europe, but they can still salvage a third place finish here at the event? Now, for GK, for the Esports Club, they played with 3 main rosters throughout their history in Rainbow Six, first in the MENA region, and then in Europe, and then recently rebooting their entire roster after 6 Invitational this year. They have never made it to top 4 before, Pengu. This is a huge moment for them.
That's why I think this third place match is actually going to not matter more than usual, because it always matters, but I think the teams are going to take it just a little bit more serious because they want to get that third spot. Whether it's for the money, the fame, the glory of winning, proving to Orc that this was the right decision for the roster. Iconic was right. Thatcher brought out to deny any sort of C4 toss their way on the breach, but it's going to be impact grenades instead there from J9O. And this has just been the classic at this event so far. All about the mirror window on the breach, playing around with the hot destruction, the impacts, the C4, and so much of the round can be determined early on, because if you're successful disrupting that first step of the attackers, it's going to make the entire round from the afterwards so much more challenging.
That's right, that hard breach ability becomes so much of the battle here, especially the way DZ like to play with those bans. Janino continuing to try and hold on to rafters for as long as possible, but he can always peel back that next layer. He might even be able to reinforce top rafters if he uses that keeper barrier to cover him. However, we do hear some breaching going down from the Selmas. He will not get a chance to reinforce this wall of rafters as Upor has made his way inside. And GK inch their way closer to the bomb side.
Yeah, looking pretty good. They got IT, they got Catwalk. That's 2 of the 3 areas of pressure that they need. But I feel like often you want that third spot. It could be a player below, for example, Sophia, but that's not going to be the case right now.
Oh,
so it should be a late round flank. The C4 could be good for 1 at least. Gets popped up, but they juke it. They walk straight past it unknowingly, despite having Thatch with 6 more EMPs in the pocket. Not needed just yet.
Unlucky timing there for Foltz, but now he gets out the shotgun, tries to continue fighting him with the verticality, but now he's receiving some fire himself. He'll need to get out of dodge. He'll need to rotate now. For Dark Zero, while he's downstairs below, he can continue to be a threat to deny the plan. As we see another facet of this attack come into action here from Ars, coming in through Con. Upor and Grubby together get active as NJR is forced back to that bomb site. Down, but not out as of yet. All up to Foltz. The man who wanted to pose for plant denial now has a 1v4. Grubby with the pistol to finish off the 2 final kills. GK swimming into the first round on Nighthaven Labs.
Such great strategic understanding there from GK, though. Again, it's a young early roster here for the organization, but in the server, they understand the pressure points, when to push together, and also where their attack should be mounted from. It starts off on the breach, it's slow and steady, but they get the wall open up. And then very important detail, they have can opener, that second layer of hard destruction on York, who's playing the Sophia, and he walked into Catwalk Rafters right here, opened up the left-hand side wall, that applies so much pressure on the side itself, and it forces both Janino and Kino deep into the Aqua hallway, and that gives GK a way into the bomb site to get the first couple of kills and to start prodding and prying with those DMR angles.
Attacking is where it's at for GK here. DZ chose this map pick, which means that GK wanted to start on this attacking side. Now DZ, in most of the games that you and I have casted, Pengu, they've actually been much more of a defensive favored team.
Yes, they have.
Their attacks can be strong, but their defense is where they really shine.
Hey Omkesh OP, welcome to the stream, bro. Thanks for gift. Samosa ke liye bahut bahut shukriya bhai. Welcome, bro.
It's against Weibo or against Furia. Yeah. Of course, eventually Dark Zero did fall to Furia yesterday. Funnily enough, GK, on the flip side, the only team at this tournament.
Thank you, Omkesh OP for Mango Lassi. आज फाइनल है भाई, देखते कौन जीतता है. अभी तो 3rd प्लेसमेंट के लिए मैच चल रहा है. Let's see.
He's like, what are you doing? It's my microphone.
Now, something that I guess isn't talked about very often, small little insight if you're a player, right? The way that you handle your TeamSpeak or audio setup at LAN events is so different from team to team. So you might be thinking, can you hear the crowd at a LAN event? Usually no. You got your in-ears, you got the soundproof headset with white noise being spammed in the background. However, when your microphone is picking up your own voice, the background of the crowd kind of bleeds into it. And not in the sense that you can tell what they're saying, it's just a lot of noise in your ear.
Yeah.
So some pro teams, they will have push to talk, where you gotta hold on a button and somehow spawn in a 6th finger to hit that key to then speak to your teammates. Some, they have toggle mute, so you will click a button, now your microphone is muted, you'll click again, now it's unmuted. That's what I would do because I can't hold down a button, I have 6 fingers.
Did you actually do that, or did you?
There were some events where it was either the headset or the speaker setup was just very sensitive, and if we didn't do it, couldn't hear the game sound.
Yeah, wow.
Because the issue is, you gotta balance the in-game audio to hear the footsteps, the C4s, etc., the pattern sounds, but also balance it with the TeamSpeak, hearing the teammates going for the callouts, right? And you have different players balancing it differently. But the other option is that some people will just play open microphones and you cannot hear a damn thing. Or they play open microphone with such a high threshold on the gate that you gotta scream for the mic to pick it up.
Yeah.
And I've only played in one team. I played in Penta, that became G2. I'm honestly so curious what like the average outcome is. Like what do most pro teams go for? Because no one discusses this. I never hear people talk about it.
Talk, toggle.
कल जीती क्या आज फ्यूज जीती फ्यूज जैसे फ्यूरी आया. जीके का तो अभी चल रहा है, ये अभी 3rd प्लेसमेंट के लिए चल रहा है इनका. पता नहीं कौन अभी जीतेगा. इसके बाद फाइनल है ये मैच के बाद, ये थर्ड प्लेसमेंट के लिए चल रहा है।
Is some way or another similar for GK. We've actually got a lot of ex-teammates on these two teams. 3 of the players in the server right now actually played for that old Oxygen roster. OXG, of course, Kino, Newers, and Yogo. We got to see a little bit of that. The sass on the 1v1 on stage when Kino refused to shake Yoga's hand. All fun and games for these players that have quite a history together. How crazy is this though? Yoga has actually played at 11 S-tier final events on North American teams before this one where he's playing for a European.
Yeah, I mean, OXG, they used to make a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, for example, a couple of years ago, 6 Invitational 2025 in Boston, Newers and Yoga were on the same team. They made top 8 with OXG after coming through the LCQ, by the way. They knocked out G2, Shopify Rebellion, and they beat SSG, which was Folds, JNO, and Callout's team at the time.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Second round, second time the mirror went on IT wall, is successfully impact denied. This is why you leave the ace open. It's the operator that you can easily impact trick against. With the Sky Repellers, you can just do 2 at a time or do a bunch at a time and open up the whole wall. With the ace Selma, you're gonna pop the first layer, then you can impact through it and deny the second layer. That means you only have peak hole upstairs, not like an entry path forward for late round usage. And the less ways you have in the building as an attacker, well, the less pressure points you have to enable yourself, and the less areas DC have to be worried about. The third Selma went out. That one was not impact trick there from J9O. So IT now is fully under pressure by the attackers.
Nice, so efficient here from GK. They are such a well-oiled machine, so much experience on this roster from different teams. I mean, Ask and Yog with their own history. Even Grubby now is becoming a bit of an experienced player. He's played at a number of international finals now. Sarks and Upor starting to come into form as JNO spots out Yog on the Monty, trying to make his way up the rafters stairs. Really poising a bit of a threat. Can't afford to look away from the Monty for too long as Yog will just go for the ADS fight.
Swinging with the first bit of action. C4 goes out, takes down Yog, who's actually playing the Monty. Injured as well, trading back.
Very nice here from DZ. However, they do lose a player. Will they lose another? No, Kino with the quick drop shot onto Upor. Big kill. The Monty down, the Grim has been taken care of. DZ maintain control of the top floor. 3 players still upper stairs, 1 in IT as well. And all the progress GK thought they had made has been for nothing.
Kino really just said, fine, I'll do it all myself. C4, shotgun kill, finds the 2 openings. Now just kind of play the corners to play back the layers. But I think there's a read here from Grubby on the breach. Doesn't matter if Foz is better, stands up. Cleans Grubby's head right off. Now they got the virtual bomb site. Oh, Kino finds another. Foz finds the final player in Ask, who's playing downstairs, jumping in the bomb site window. An easy round there from DC.
Funny though, because the very start of the round looked like a perfect dry run from GK. They breached open the wall, they took some map control, they opened up the vert. But as soon as they lost that skirmish on the top floor, it was over.
It's so rare that Monty will die to C4. Taking about 75–80% of your health with a perfectly landed C4, that's very common. But outright dying to it, unless it did a double C4 toss, because Foz also lost C4 earlier. I'm not entirely certain, but I didn't catch it if they did. Either way, perfect counterplay. Understand that, hey, if we just deal with the Monty, that's pretty much the entire push that we stopped.
Yeah. That was a good plan from GK, but DZ, they're good on their defense. Like we said, 1-1 on their map pick. And this classic DZ, they just love leaning into specific operators for as long as they possibly can to hope that it gets baited out and banned. And in this case, at the moment, it's been false on that mirror. He's often playing these power ops on defense that then tries to force out that tertiary ban.
Yeah,
we saw a lot of clash.
I was gonna say, you know, he's gonna what he's gonna play when you bend the mirror. He's gonna play the clash.
Yeah, and he's gonna be really good with it as well. He's a scary force to be reckoned with, especially if you want to play shields. And GK haven't been relying too much on the shields. Obviously, they played Monty last round, but they've got all the 3 main shields plus Fuse available should they want it.
I think the beauty of the way that DC and Foz they play the clash is that it doesn't feel like they do it as a shield countermeasure. They do it to enable a style of their own. So it's not that they are dependent on GK to play into it or not. It's about, oh, well, when we have the clash, we can play the kitchen bomb side here on Night Labs. We can play a 4th option to go for more counters or more specific niche strats in the server. And one thing that they've been doing twice now as well is the pulse. using the verticality against GK, because when GK has been on the attacking side so far, they like to say, we're going to attack IT, we're going to attack Catwalk, and they send 2, 3, 4 attackers. The more people that come together, the higher the chance for a C4 to find a kill, which arguably probably should have happened in the very first round, but Carby just kind of sidestepped it last second.
Wow, what an angle.
This time it's NJR's turn on the pulse.
That's a really cheeky angle from Jane. I know he's standing behind one of those cabinets in IT with a one-way angle over the cabinet and then through the mirror window. He can't be contested. Onto that angle, let's manage to do a little bit of damage onto Yogg, who's now taking a little bit of damage from his own Boogie drone, I believe, as he's made his way into kitchen. Deathmark fails as Mutejam is helping DZ out, avoid detection from the Deimos as the Roamers continue peeling on back. Still 2 on the ground floor and 1 faults all the way upstairs in servers. But it seems to be a push onto the bomb site. GK have realized that this roam from DZ is extensive enough that it leaves the bomb site vulnerable.
Oh, News wants to kill though. Sees so much pressure upstairs in the wrong game, but News is better. Finds 2, then finally trade it back. But they know this bomb site is relatively weak.
Yeah, indeed they do. And Faults is a 3 armor, 1 speed operator all the way up in service. He must have some kind of vert angle to try and help out as the push comes into the bomb site, but NJR from behind will take down Ask. 2 versus 4 for GK, Sarks and Yogg try and get active. Try and make their presence known, but they will have to recollect that diffuser before too long as well. SMG-12 in close range. Kino, he's usually trusted with that shotgun. Yogg does find NJR. Maybe this is winnable. They've got that defuse. They've got the pick. A retake could happen here from DZ. As the phone is ringing on out, Sarks will go down. The verticality works out in favor of DZ. And Yogg is forced to go into the 1v1. Bit of damage onto Kino, not enough as of yet. Worried about the flank from behind. Pistol comes out, 1v2. 30 seconds, still got to get that defuse. And both of his opponents are upstairs. Faults, so patient the whole game. He was roaming upstairs. Finally finds the last kill for DZ from above.
Very well done. Only one thing missing there from the attack inside. No hub breaching whatsoever. So single breach was closed off, enabling Kino to play inside of that small box. And the double wall leading to the bomb site, same story. It wasn't open. That means that GK have so few ways in throughout the bomb site. And the vert that they did above was used against them because they lost the wrong battle. It's been an awkward position. Arbiter Band's expecting the mirror. On the flip side, maybe a Solid Snake, maybe a Monty. It's going to be the Monty and the mirror, yeah. I was thinking you do Solid Snake for roam clear if you're fearing that kind of gap-finding playstyle, or you take away the Monty because now again the Clash gets a higher value. If they do play the shields, it'll be Fuse, Blitz, or Blackbeard, all of which cannot exist against the Clash. And if they were to ban the Clash and not the mirror, you just keep doing the mirror stuff.
Yeah.
So this is again DC forcing their enemy into a lose-lose position.
Yeah, it's classic DZ. They have so many good tools on their defensive side. They know how to flip between them. They have a very deep strat book. A lot of good shots, though, from the GK players. DZ, though, those setups, too complicated. You can't cheese them. But you're right, that Solid Snake not getting banned does mean that there's more likely going to be opportunities for GK to quickly find space for free.
There we go,
get
guys.
in that building, get in the bomb site like
So
they
this
did
is,
last round. The problem is, Solid Snake's weakness is actually vert, because his gadget only tells you what's happening on the current floor that you're standing
They should
on.
really buff that, shouldn't they? Like, why would it only track the floor that you're on? What if you could go up a floor, down a floor?
I feel like Solid Snake is a pretty buff guy, right? Like, he should be able to hold 2 F2s at once. Oh! And they have the same recoil, right? He's got 1 V10. So it does double damage. What do you think?
I mean, if you have 2 weapons, right? I would argue that they recoil counteract each other.
That's
because
right.
you get even
one upside down on top of the other one.
Yeah,
Zero
exactly.
recoil.
They go into each other.
Genius.
We all know that when you wear a backpack on one shoulder, it's awful. But if you have 2 backpacks, 1 on each shoulder, it equalizes the weight distribution.
Genius.
Therefore, it's easy as.
Genius. Love it. It's the kind of 300 IQ strats that you can only get when you've won 2 championships and been washed up for the last 6 years.
I was gonna make a point, actually. Almost every single player in this lobby has had a longer playing career than myself. Counting both Tier 2 and into Tier 1, because Upor might be new to Tier 1 competition, but been in Tier 2, Tier 3 for years.
Yeah, he has. Yogg, one of, like I said before, the longest running players remaining from North America, no longer in North America, here in Paris, playing for a European squad. He finds the first kill. Jane, I know, goes down. That regenerative utility of the Azami. A good one to take down early, reduce the value the defense can gain from it. But DZ
Hey,
No
Chobu,
strangers to fighting from a numbers deficit on the defense.
Yeah, bro. I'm just watching
One matter of how
Rainbow Six
DC can
Siege
restabilize.
EWC matches.
It is going to be that top
This is
4 bomb
final.
side, so in terms of
It is
options,
final, yeah.
Khan's going to go for a kill somewhere. Could be Kino
The,
forcing a shotgun
DJ
inside of E-Box.
Z versus
Could be
GK's,
Newers
for
going for a flank, playing by
third
meeting. They've actually misdroned him so far. The double back. But I think still a small gap being found there. Doesn't matter. Newers shots
Guys,
drone falls on
कल
back. NGR
morning
elsewhere
में
did find the
Rainbow
kill.
Six
So
Mobile
back
की
to
stream
even
करूँगा,
ground,
ठीक है?
meaning that now Newers has to value his life a lot more and really escape back to side, which he will do successfully.
He does indeed. Good shot though from Yog.
He's down Fultz.
Another big one with the Commando. 4v2 now with Fultz still on the floor and separated. He is dead meat. As soon as GK realized they found that pick, it should be over. Newers going for a flank. He is
The
shut
voice
down.
is,
Good patience now
pretty,
from the European squad as
ज़्यादा ही लोग
NJR has it all to do. I think I've seen this before. I swear I saw this just yesterday. Surely
Now it's
not.
good.
Ars just needs to go for a plan. Don't pull the herds on me right now. NJR continuing to jiggle peak. GK no, I believe that this is a 2v1.
I think now
In
it's
fact, it's
good,
now
yeah.
confirmed. Now Yog goes down. It's
Ooh.
Ars that has to clutch. And he will, thankfully so. NJR, oh so close. But a second round is found for GK.
Dude, NGR, disgusting. Getting that lean tag in there.
If
That could
I
be Newers
talk,
teaching a trigger
so
too, I think, because that looks
that's,
like a Newers play. And I will say,
it's game
watching
GG, yeah,
DC for as long as they've been around, I think NGR, having to be on Thermite for so many years and Harpoon seeing supportive roles, I've always been like, what is this guy doing playing supportive characters? Because there's been so many times, like going back to Sharded Major even, the DC Sharded Grand Final, when NGR was forced to become an entry and like in a round gone bad for DC, this guy is nasty.
Oh yeah.
And now on DC with a little bit more freedom in the playstyle, especially on defense, he's really coming into his own now.
Yeah.
Seeking those moments, seeking those plays.
For sure. And look, NJR, what a long career he's had. But funnily enough, the entirety of his Tier 1 career has been with Dark Zero. 5.5 years. In that time, he's won 2 majors. Yep. 2 completely different rosters. Charlotte way back in the day with the Canadian DZ, and nowadays with Fultz's DZ as well. A long career, especially considering he is only 23 years old. 23 years of age, and he spent his entire adult life playing for DZ.
That's impressive. Not many players end up in just one spot for so long. I mean, Mint was also a one player back in the day that kind of stuck around one team, then became another team, and then retired.
Hey, don't forget about Mint's esteemed coaching career with Unwanted, top performing team at Boston, I suppose. Got to give my boy Mint some credit. I still have an old Flipside charm on my,
I was gonna say same.
my collection.
It's in there. One of the OGs of the scene, one of the OG Shield players as well from NA.
Yeah, you guys used to steal their
Dab आएगा यार ये
strats
सब
and do it better
चीजें
as well. Back when I was a Flipside fan, I had to become a
What
Penta
time
fan
है?
because on the OG Clubhouse CCTV where no one played, they were the only team that went to it, and then you stole their strat and did it better.
And you're like, ah, these guys are the better Flipside players.
Yeah, I was like, yes, I have to be a European fan
Now
too
it's
now.
good, I think so.
I love how much the OGs have done for the scene. I mean, we make the joke that, you know, if this player walks, that these players could run sort of thing, right? And it's really true.
Sure.
And speaking of NGR, learning from Troy, the way he started his career, and now teaching the younger generation properly that he's going to have around him later in his career, same things as well.
Totally.
It's beautiful.
A lot of young players, though, on DZ. Well, young depends on your perspective, right? 23 is the youngest age player for a DZ player, and most of them have had already very long careers in Tier 1 because they were those gunners picked up at 18 years old. Every single one of these players falls into that category, and now they have the experience to be major champions. And so they have done so a couple of months ago. Now they need to fight here. 2-2 is the score, as an aggressive run out from Fultz does not pay dividends. Good trade, however. GK restabilize. Sarks manages his pick on IT. Kino wants to lash out again. As DZ fall back again, they're happy to give up top floor control to GK.
There's a good two-fanged attack there. The catwalk window with the IT breach working well together. But time has been taken away here from GK, and they still have attack outside the building. They haven't progressed close enough to the bomb site itself just yet. I mean, if they want to go for it, just like jumping in the side window, they're free to, but super risky. JR's covering one side window, swings it actually, and gets shot down. That right there, lose them a bit of control by that B bomb site, forcing Kino for a rotate to retake that position as best as he can.
GK is so patient. I love that from them. They're so quick at the start of the round with their setups. They've dry run 100 times, but when they're in the advantage, they don't overcomplicate things.
It's a 4v2 right now, 30 seconds remain, but this bomb site is very hard to plant safely in because you can be denied vertically from above or below or flanked on the bomb site. Both players on the site here for DZ. GK, though, be careful. Don't expose yourself one by one. Why are they exposing themselves one by one? Sarks makes it a 1v2 now. He has to get that defuse back again. Thankfully, Grubby doesn't let Kino get away with a clutch, and GK will take the lead.
Again, way too close for comfort. Newer is doing such a great job fighting back and isolating those kills, but I will also have to say this, swinging for the third, that's the adrenaline most like saying, oh, I got this, I'm gonna keep going, right? I'm fired up, and then he gets shot down. He's kind of mid-air vaulting down, not a great spot to be in. He had a crossfire with Kino, who was watching it all with him. So you can argue a little bit there, unnecessary for that final third swing.
Good end of the round from the young guns of GK, though, Sarks in particular. A young Italian making his debut onto the main stage here at EWC. One more round left in this half, Pengu. DZ picked the map. Tell me what you told me this morning, because we've been talking about DZ a lot during this tournament. We've been saying, well, major champions, one of the tournament favorites, DZ, Wildcard, and FaZe were our three championship contenders as we saw it coming into the event, right? But you were telling me you actually think GK have a shot in this match today.
I do think so. I mean, DC, they haven't been... Oh, so I didn't watch every game of Salt Lake because we didn't work it as casters. I watched it passively, I was as a content creator, whichever. But looking at them, having caster games here at EWC, it does seem like they're a slightly weaker version of themselves. And FaZe have shown signs of that as well early in the tournament. I think Fury started off looking very weak and vulnerable too. And I think GK right now, having that same kind of Cinderella story as, your wild card, your team secret, where they're running off just like passion, the fumes, and they're just like so excited to be here, so happy, not feeling that kind of pressure. Whereas DC, they have probably in their own minds let themselves down by playing for third place. They should be in the grand finals as a next matchup, trying to play for a trophy.
100%, but look, DZ, they've been really good. We've seen a lot of high-quality siege from them, but there were also 2 rounds from elimination to CAG in the group stage. There were 2 rounds from elimination against Weibo in their quarterfinal.
Exactly.
It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for DZ, and right now, fighting from behind on their map pick is not a good spot to be in, especially on their preferred side of defense.
Look at that pocket pick, right? The 4th bomb site unlock, Clash enabled as well. Finally, in the 6th and final round and a half, it's going to be Kitchen.
This is the classic DZ. We love Kitchen.
GK have seen this probably 11 times in the last 3 matches that DC have played on this map because they do go there at a high frequency. They're tagging in a very unusual way, doing a full sweep from Catwalk IT in towards Pillar to then get the verticality above the bomb site. What they want to do is box DC into a corner in an unfavorable spot and then take the side control in the 5v5. The only issue is, by going for full map control, the timer is a much larger problem as there's so many areas to check, to drone, to clear, and so much map to keep control over. And there is a small gap right now. I think Kino has gone more or less unnoticed here by Top Aqua.
There is a flank watch drone, but nobody's watching it at the moment. I saw it placed by Ask early in the round. And indeed, there's a flank watch player. You pour potatoes a little bit. Thankfully, he still withstands and finds the kill. Now he's continuing to watch up on the top floor as DZ have this roam up above with the ADSs and the keeper barriers, but bedded into movement here from NJR. Grubby moved all the way from the other side of the map to sneak up this staircase and cut off DZ. GK are reading them like a book, and now DZ must rely on some hero players on the bomb site to win the round.
GK right now has to play the kills because Yoke is outside the building with the diffuser playing as a capital operator, but guess what? They got the full map control. They got the vert up above. Yoke in position on the window. If they can figure out where all 3 defenders are, they can use the smoke and fire and just guns together and just brute force the bomb site because they have significant numbers advantage, because Newers is so on health. Dokubikol will take him out. He has to answer it.
Yeah, you're right. He has to, and so he will. He can be spammed again shortly by Sarks, but J9O finds a critical kill. Newers will fall to Grubby into the bomb site now. Faults on the Clash, has to have an impact, but he is shot out of it. It's J9O to try and save the half for DZ, but the plan is going down from Yogg. Good damage though. How does that happen? Yogg team kills. It's now a 1v1. Yogg cannot afford to lose this. The Clash shield against J9O.
Yoga has to land this shot. J9O looks for the rotate. Might be able to move around, go into the other side of the bomb site. Look to try and take the advantageous position. Boosted up, bit of damage. 1 HP. Now for Yog. He just needs to buy more time. J9O up and over. Yog clutches around for GK. 4-2 in their attacking half.
With the Clash Shield as well. What an incredible way to find it. We're getting into the halftime side swap. Let's listen in.
For supply and command, we go back to defense. Keep in mind, all this guy is doing right now is he has a cam inside a Raptor. He's waiting, Jack, either as soon as you get aggressive towards like the Raptor door, as soon as you let him hop and take that space. So if we want to play the pulse off that Bulker, we can. You look for a micro there. Like basically, they'll have one guy on the roof holding the water door, and then he plays like close off the window and looks for that hop. So if we identify there's no guy on the roof, you can call Kino to swing that, or we can just say fuck it, and then consolidate back a little bit closer towards the globe side. That's pretty much for both supply and command. It's got to be kind of one or the other, because they're just ripping that gap on us the entire time, and Jack's by himself. So either we go with Jack, have 2 there extended, one helps for like the Raptor door tool set, the other one holds for that, or we do the pulse micro, or we just consolidate back. It's kind of one of the 3, but we can't really just do the solo extension like that. It's not panning out for us right now. Heard? Yep. Okay. Heard. On the attack side, just a reminder what I talked about. First,
triple, so you know, for basement, it's again probably going to be like the first floor explosion, and for storage, they usually like the Kina jump with the toucher on the side, and so kind of be Yoga prepared for that and like think about how you're gonna play against
Start
it.
close window, I guess, Yoga. I'm gonna do the bandits right on the basement. They probably gonna open.
Let's see the bounce. I think if the bandit is open, then just play it on like skip it on the top floor, I think, and play it only like basement and if needed on the storage, because otherwise they will have like Zoxia for to counter it.
Yeah, one more thing. I think for top, I think we should like expect like crazy stuff. So in the early round.
Guys, the one thing I'm gonna.
The voice of a very deep man right there from Shepard.
Yeah.
Again, the most I've heard this man speak throughout my entire career. And again, very strategical about the operator bans, the possibilities. Not saying, guys, let's not play the bandit. You guys can play the bandit
on the basement.
But also, let's watch the operator bans first as well, right? It's like, don't overcommit to the plan until we know it for sure. And whenever we talk about kind of like how much he measures before he commits to something, you said this last cast, it gives that old Empire vibe, because they had one strat that they perfected on the attacking side that they always just used to know exactly how to counter their enemy. So Shepard would never call something without the full intel, so the operator ban will show exactly what they're going to do in the final end.
For sure, and I really do love the way that Shepard gives so much freedom to the players of GK.
Yes.
Instead of saying, guys, you have to do this because I said so, he says, oh, think about this. Yeah. Think about this. Here's an idea. Here's an idea I had. You know, it's up to you. Bandit actually gets banned in the end of it by DZ. So I guess Shepard will not be able to be getting his teammates to play that. But
the only way that works, the only way it works when you have a coach who gives a lot of freedom, though, is when you have players take initiative, right? Shepard starts saying what he wants to share, and then.
What the? Wait, guys.
What he wants to share, and then Ask will go, oh, I could do the, I think he'll go, oh, Yog, I can play the bandit on this whatever. Yeah. And it's like, okay, but that wouldn't work if you don't have players taking it.
I did hear immediately after Shepard finished speaking, I heard a voice getting active in the comms, and I wasn't sure if that was Ask. It actually sounded a bit like an Italian accent, so I thought it might have been Sask giving his opinion. I couldn't quite tell. I haven't spent enough time with Ask, Sask, and Gravity to be able to tell exactly who's speaking. But yeah, interesting to hear the way that the comms pan out in those halftime roll swaps. Also notable as well, we talked a little bit about this, but for DZ, they spent the first half of their tactical. It's so tricky because they're talking about what just went wrong. Yeah, what I did notice right at the end before we cut over to the GK comms, call out says, okay, that's for defense for the attacking side, and then he starts talking about what's about to come.
Yeah,
but it's interesting, like almost like a mini 1-minute debrief of what happened last half, so that if we do get to overtime, you have that back in the fresh back in your mind. You've already there's nothing what's the word? Like unresolved. Yeah, you've still talked about it.
I think it's an interesting concept because obviously I never played during the halftime swap, right? So we only had the tech time that you called with the coach, and that was it. And we only had the like 45, 60 seconds. You couldn't have the luxury of discussing what went wrong. You gotta look at what's in front of you. Yeah. And it's like a mental tilter. But I like this from a conceptual point of view from Call Out saying, these are the things that we got to do differently next time, and it's almost like you talk about the issues that might frustrate somebody, and everyone can kind of move past that point and now play the other half of the game. Because I do know for myself as well as a player, something can just sit in the back of my mind, oh my god, like we messed this up, or this player didn't take responsibility for the mistake that he made, or I don't know what we're going to do on defense, and that takes you kind of out of the current present. So you talk through it, debrief style like you said, then you talk about for the last 60 seconds of the 2 minutes, what about our attacks?
Yeah.
And then Conrad said, just to reiterate what I said already, you know what the prep work was going into the game.
Yeah, very much so. Funnily enough, Foltz actually got to play in the third place match last year at the Esports World Cup with SSG, as did, of course, J9O and Callout. And funnily enough, they lost it to Furia.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
I thought they won it.
They did. No, Foltz is a funny player. I mean, when you want to track the continuity of this roster, you could obviously look at MJR and the old DZ squad, but most of this Dark Zero really is the spiritual successor to that old Space Station roster that Foltz was the leader of, especially because Callout is still coaching. Foltz himself has actually been to the last 15 events in a row, S-tier events. And that includes with DZ and Space Station before it. Most of those with J9O, a lot of them with Newers. And while he was champion at the most recent one in Salt Lake City, he's been very up and down. Prior to that, I mean, top 8 at SI, and then bottom 16 at Munich, and then Esports World Cup last year, top 4, but only 4th place. Reload, first rounded, SI the year prior, top 6. It's very much up and down for that old SSG, now DZ core.
Yeah, I remember Anne asked him a question during the previous interviews about the longevity of his career, where he goes, oh, you know, I came to the game and I got better, I had my victory. And it was about relearning and getting back up to that level again. So he goes up, he wins. He goes quite far down, fights his way back up, gets another win, but there's so many years between them.
Well, his first ever event was with Space Station when he was a very young man.
Yeah.
In 6 Major Raleigh 2019, he got top 8 at that event. He won the next event, SI 2020 in Montreal. His second ever event at a professional Rainbow Six level, he won. He was a world champion. What did he do since then? I mean, he proceeded to do pretty much nothing for 6 years, no championships, until finally getting that second championship of his in the major in Salt Lake City. He's had an extremely long career. He's a player who was always at these international events. You would have thought that he'd have a few more trophies.
I thought there was one more, actually, but I guess not.
No?
No?
No, SI 2020, and then a lot of top 8s. You know, like almost every single major he went to, he would make it to the main stage. There are a couple of outliers where they got groups, like SI 21 or Copenhagen, for example. They actually got grouped by Scars. I remember that very well. Casted that game, great match. And then Reload, very bad performance. Munich was probably the worst performance we've seen from them in recent history, where they didn't even make it out of the top 16. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of potential from Foltz and from his team. We've seen that. We've seen the depth that this DZ team have, and yet they fell just prior to this match in the semi-finals to Furia, who now make it through to that grand final.
But this is also the story for most esports pro players, and even in regular sports athletes. There are so many people who have to go without a win for a long time, for someone else to win, obviously. And in Siege, you and I had this combo this morning for breakfast. We have had, depending on exactly how you define it, between 3 and like 5 eras, a dynasty, if you will, for teams, right? And then everyone else, they either had a singular victory or no victories.
Totally.
There are so many players who's been around for 5 to 8 years who's never won anything.
Totally.
Because we've had so many, or we've had teams just dominate for a long period of time.
I mean, we had Continuum, and then we had Penta G2, and then we had Empire, and then we had W7M Furia, and then we had FaZe. And it's like...
that's like the simple, I would say the simple version?
The simple version is those 5, right? And then every other tournament that has been won, you know, TSM winning a 6 Invitational, DZ winning a few majors, these are all one-offs, right? Like, even Space Station's SI win, like, where was the consistency aside from that? And I think another team that really comes into this conversation is Falcons, because of how many times they have been regarded as one of the best in the world, and maybe even the best, but not making it into a championship, not actually raising the hammer or raising that trophy. And it makes me wonder, what is more impressive? A player like Foltz making it to 15 events in a row, a player like Canadian who's still playing 10 years.
Into every SI.
Exactly, every single 6 Invitational. What's more impressive, that? Or, you know, Penta G2 winning everything for a year and a half, or W7M being the undoubted best team for 2 majors and a 6 Invitational, or FaZe being in 3 6 Invitational finals in a row, winning 2 of them. What is more impressive to you? I feel like there's actually, it's a bit of a subjective. I don't think there's a correct answer,
There's
right?
ways of measuring it for sure. I have always valued consistency and longevity, and it's why I have so much respect for a player like the Canadian. He might not be going on stage dropping 20 kills every game and winning every single grand finals, but the guy's qualified for event. He's still there, still having impact in the presence. And teams like your FaZe Clan, who in recent history, 3 ESI Grand Finals in a row, right? That's one thing. But if you go back 7 years, they were in a top 4 Pro League final. You go back to, 5 years ago, they were in a major final. And sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but they are always at the top, chasing the trophy for such a long time. And then, like we said, we have teams that, I mean, look at Beast Coast, right? Out of nowhere, bunch of rookies. They win a major.
Sure.
And obviously we had Munich where the core did it again, but it's like, no one expects that to happen. But that's been the story of Siege. A team out of nowhere, even in Team Secret recently, they will win a tournament, surprise everybody, and they kind of disappear.
They'd be good for 6 to 12 months, and there's always a different array of reasons as to why that happens. For Team Secret, for example, they got poached to pieces. Unfortunately, the conditions at Team Secret, the salary, whatever, can't compete with these other organizations like M80 and Falcons. And Wildcard even, but yeah, it's a funny situation, isn't it? But I think there is no correct answer about what's more impressive.
No, it's about what you value.
I think you need trophies, though. Like, you can't be like...
Can you be the best player of all time and have never won SI? Because that's the debate.
Shaiko. I mean, I don't...
Yeah, Shaiko's the best example.
I am, like, very much... I think there's no right answer to a lot of these questions. I think there is a right answer to that. No, you cannot be the best player of all time and not have won a world championship. That is just, it's just impossible, right? Now, if Shaiko won the next world championship, maybe he would be in that conversation. But right now, he is not eligible. It's like our club championship.
Well, he's in the conversation now, but he's not stamped on, the letter, you know?
Well, it's like, here, the EWC format with the club championship, you could have the most points out of any club, but if you have not won in any specific game, you are not eligible to be the club champion.
Have a win to own.
That's right. You have to have a win, and you have to have a certain number of top 8 performances as well, or top 4 performances. We'll get our club championship reporters to get you the 100% detail on that.
There's something there.
For sure, exactly. Like, I don't care if Falcons, let's say, they were second place in every single title. That's not good enough. You cannot win the championship unless you have one of the championships to your name, and I think that's very much the case. I don't care how many grand finals you've played in, especially Falcons, because they have been in so many grand finals. At that point, you were the favored team so many times, there's got to be some kind of curse. And look, I'm not a superstitious man, but the number of times Falcons have been to a grand final and lost it, I'm certainly feeling a little bit superstitious.
I think they've been gunning for Troy Canadian's record. Because Troy used to be the man who had suffered the most grand final losses before, and I feel like we're probably in a pretty equal area now at this point. Well, speaking of Shaiko and G2, I saw Shaiko yesterday. He's here.
Yes, yeah, he has been.
He was in our green room. He just spawned in. I was like, hello there. What are you doing here? He's hanging out.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, Shaiko's been here the whole time. I actually saw him riding his motorbike the other day.
Oh, did you?
He has a mean-looking motorbike.
Oh.
Very badass. Living it up on G2.
Gotta be careful. Yeah, the motorbike is kind of cool until it gets too scary, you know? I'm too scared to go for that.
You don't even have your driver's license.
That's my point. I'm too scared, man. I got a little scooter that's, not license required. It goes 20 kilometers an hour.
Right. Oh, you've got like an electric scooter.
Yeah, like
that's cool. Those are dangerous. Xenox broke his arm riding one of those.
I guess I shouldn't be talking then, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, we're back into the server. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. We're into it. It's 4-2, and we move into the second half. So now DZ, for the first time, show us what they've got on the attacking side. This is their map pick, though, so they need to bring a little bit more energy than we saw on defense. Otherwise, this could be yet another fairly disappointing result from DZ.
Hold your horses right now. Side swap, keen on a Blackbeard shield. That's going to bode well for him. He's a phenomenal shield player, this man. He's waiting for the right call, the right time. Mind you, he has the shield on his back as the Blackbeard, giving less sound cue as to where he is. He doesn't sound like a shield operator. He sounds like a regular dude in the server. Yeah. But he is not regular at all. He's going to jump in that CC window and take the fight towards Grubby.
Oh, nice little fight there, close range. Kino takes a little bit of damage from the barbed wire, but he should be able to smack that away. And once NJR destroys his Kiva barrier, he'll be able to contest and prevent Grubby from continuing to peek aggressively. Ooh, very nice. The air jab from NJR. It knocks Grubby back and allows Kino to go for that ADS fight. Early advantage now for DZ.
Air jab wasn't hurt there from Grubby because like too much sound, too much chaos in the server. Smoke canister explosions. Oh, the drone hull could not do some damage here, but Sox does not fire at the opportunity, and the wall being broken open here. A lot of pressure applied once again. Probably has to either go for a swing or fall back behind the keypad, but that's only temporary cover. Once that gets shot, it's going to be either floating on the floor or forced to fall through the back.
Looks like DZ are in good stead now. Even though Kino is low HP, he should be able to withstand a few more bullets to the feet before he goes down. He's actually rotating the top blue, so he's likely to try and fight Ask in just a moment at the top of the CC stairs. Newers finds a very nice angle. Nice shot from Sarks, but now he has to worry about behind him because he's lost Ask at the top of the stairs. And Fultz will work together with the Blackbeard to finish him off. Wow, very explosive split push from DZ. 3 avenues towards the bomb site. They deal the damage, and they rip GK to shreds.
I like how simple it was. It wasn't about a ton of different layers and utility and counters, like good crossfires pushing together, utilizing the Blackbeard, playing on the air jabs, and just 3-2-1 connecting. And we saw some of the player teams, I'm not sure it was Fultz or J9O, I think it was J9O actually, saying that yesterday's loss kind of came down to small details. And we know we did wrong, we fixed them for today, and this was a much better look on the attacking side than what we've seen from DC in the last 2 days.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Now, moving into the second attack, they'll have to go down to basement, and GK have thrown a few curveballs here. Unusual to see a castle pick. I wonder what the plan is here from Grubby. How much these will be on the bomb site to slow down a potential rush? Because I think, if I recall correctly, at the halftime swap, Shepard actually called watch for this rush or watch for that rush. And sometimes the castle is good at slowing down the rush. Of course, you can destroy it with the Blackbeard or with the Zafir. In this case, both are being brought. Now, Shepard also said be careful of the Thatcher. Okay, no Blackbeard here as the repicks come on out. A lot of options here for DZ. They've got Vert, they've got explosivity on the bomb set, they've got some hard breach.
The fact that they brought the Ace instead of Thermite leads me to believe it's not going to be a rush because you don't have a lot of space to work with using the Ace operator. But it definitely feels like a late round plan to execute. The Thatcher getting in there, the Ram for the verticality, the Blitz for roam clear and planting later on. Keen to see what the plan is going to be. DC all about the process, the step-by-step action. That's step number 1. And it's free because Bandit and Kite are banned away, and Mute doesn't even stop the summer charges any longer. And that's also why there's no Mute jammers on the wall itself, because what's the point? So you put the jammers elsewhere for drone denial and gadget denial.
That might enable them to roam a little bit longer on that top floor. GK on the bomb site will use the mirror windows, but that's Selma. Oh, wow.
I mean,
great usage. That is, yeah, 100% worth it there for Ask. It's a huge cost, very expensive to waste your only C4, but it does keep his mirror intact, and there are no Selmas left now for NJR.
If you were to lose the mirror window, the roamers have to fall back to support it because you cannot solo hold the bomb site without it. But without the C4, you can't go for plant denials. Maybe this was baited by DC. They got the EMPs as well for double up.
Good smokes. No nitro cell now for Ask to try and deny this.
I will go down for sure.
He's right in the middle, and they don't have information of where that plant's going down. The gas goes out too. A C4 is too late. Had that been slightly earlier there for Upor, the plant would have been denied, and DZ would not be in a post-plant position. But now the retake is nigh impossible for GK. DZ just outside. The smoke grenade will go out. Ask will try and long arm this. He'll try and get the angle with Yogg and Sarks to try and cover, and it's working. Newers taunts in the all chat, but this seems to perhaps be working for GK. Ask will continue holding it. Nerves of steel for GK. The Ninja defuse. And DZ might have had a nice rush, but they got to be careful for those retakes from GK.
Oh my god. I mean, usually there's going to be a freebie, but playing a little bit too far on the left-hand side, and the long arm was somewhat possible, and DC didn't have the verticality for the post.
Austin in the old chat, maybe not a good spot to plant.
He also said, nice job in the middle of the 5v5 action. It was pretty...
I think Newers was the one that said that.
Newers was
right after he died, Newers said that. And I'm like, bro, you're 3v4 right now.
It's not a good post plan whatsoever.
That is an incredible retake, though, I gotta say. I mean, if DZ had 2 players upstairs, surely that's unlosable, but they didn't have anyone on the vert. I think the only player on the vert was Newers, and he was the one that got taken down.
It's one of those cases where it's such good strategy for both teams, right? The Selma charge baits up the C4 as a possibility. Then they recognize, guys, planting's be quite straightforward. They only have one C4 now, maybe, and smoke, but they're both roaming. So we can get like halfway through the plant duration, then they arrive by the bomb site. And we got Thatcher as well to kind of go for the counter. The only thing is, had Kino been 2-3 steps further to the right-hand side, the angle is much more in their favor. So a strat successfully executed, just the post plant didn't go away. Technically a good round for DC.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked a lot about this in the DZ versus Furia game and in the DZ versus Weibo game. You can have good macro, but sometimes games are won or lost based on tiny little moments like, does that plant go down? Does that defuse come out? We saw that especially in the DZ Weibo quarterfinal.
Yes.
There were a lot of smoke plants, and DZ were really good at denying.
Yeah, they were. Again, DZ usually the team to win the retakes themselves, but this time it goes against. And Ask, I mean, you can say he's 1-5 on the scoreboard. All I say is that he defused the diffuser last round and got his team the round victory. And there are so many ways of gaining value that's not shown you on the scoreboard, in the kill department. Kino right now, for example, playing the shield operators. I mean, he's doing such a big job every single round from map control, clearing player positions, gaining information, even if you might not get a kill.
2 rounds in the lead now for GK on that defensive side. DZ, a lot of work to do. Now, this top floor attack last time was impeccable. They started with control of IT, control of rafters. They quickly pivoted, took top blue very quickly. Now, not a C4 for Ask to try and... Oh, actually, Impacts almost works. The second impact will destroy the Selma, but not before a hole is opened up underneath that.
Yeah, underneath it. The mirror is still there.
Technically, but you can't really play on it safely as you'll be exposed.
Yeah.
Bullets.
Not a good time. So GK, I think they've read the situation. It's going to be a backside take right now because Yonk is cleared count rafters. He's peeked IT outside and he's like, okay, there's no one there.
Oh, wow.
Big booms downstairs. C4 not for that reason because there's dead players. C4 at the end. The Sox went down. Uper low on HP. Sox already dead. He's starting off with a statement.
And JR can't sprint thanks to that Thorn Trap. He is limping. Now that air jab could actually be shot if Upor perhaps gets close enough, or perhaps if he wide swings, it might actually detonate and force him back. Now he's just prone on the floor. And it looks like JNO might be moonwalking. Is everybody moonwalking? I think everybody's
I see a moonwalk as well, James. I don't like that.
It's a thriller.
Oh, it's gonna.
That's actually a tough situation. I'm gonna have to assume
that
the players also don't want to play. I see them with their hands in the air. So this is a tough situation to call. There was a 5v4. It wasn't like nobody was there to what. I'm not sure what the angle is here. Do you play it? Do we have to talk to the admins? I'm not.
You know what's great? You know what's great?
It's not our job.
Is that it's not our job. It's not that.
But the
not our job to make the call about what we do. We have to rehearse.
Well, this team might have had the advantage. Well, this team would argue the opposite, and we're not.
Well, okay. Do we want to give our opinions on who had the advantage?
We should get a player from each team to plead their case to why they should get the round victory.
That's true, like a debating battle.
Debating battle,
That's a great idea, like both of them stand up. You know what, if we get like Call out up the front, you know exactly what he's going to say? He's going to say, I don't even care, I just want to win. I just want to play the game. Let's just replay it.
This is right. That's the most fair thing there is to do, right?
I think we're probably going to end up replaying that round. Like, look, it was reasonably even.
Sox will be happy with that. He died early. Upo was low on HP, but the attackers had low time.
So. JNO had like 1.5 kills with the 3 big booms by
1.5.
Because he killed Sox and he got a ton of damage onto Upo. I think he was like half HP on the Warden. Now, I can only assume that we'll probably replay that round, but we'll get the call from the admins before too long. Don't worry, everyone's loading back into the lobby. I can see that almost all the players are back in the lobby, so we'll be starting again very soon. Did you get my Michael Jackson reference? When like everyone was moonwalking, I started singing Thriller.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I was afraid of getting copyright struck, so I didn't want to...
Oh, you think I'm that accurate?
Weren't you? Well, I mean, I caught it immediately. You're spot on.
Well, thank you.
If only people could see the dance moves you're doing at the same time.
Oh,
don't. The music video.
People aren't ready for my dance moves.
Yeah, it's weird because we have the top-down view on a second monitor here, and you look at the, you know, what everyone is seeing on the stream. It's like it looks like a game is happening.
Yeah.
Look to the middle monitor. It's like everyone's been walking.
Yeah.
Everyone's standing still.
A little bit of a moonwalk. Oh, I see someone getting active in the chat. I can see the game has started. We're back into it. I do find it really interesting when I see players typing in the chat, and then I can see on our top-down monitor that there's no convo in the chat, because that tells me they're typing in the team chat, which means it's just notes to their own players on their team. Which I always think is really interesting. We noticed that the other day after the tactical timeout. I believe it was from Callout.
It was DC.
Yeah, it was from DZ, doing a little typing.
Taking some notes in the chats.
It's a cool idea. I've never really thought about doing that. I only ever use the team chat to say, you know, like you say rush B in the all chat, and then bracket in the team chat, actually rush A. Drops the chat for Black Ice.
No,
guys, if you come up to Pengu at the event and you say, "Can I have Black Ice?" he will personally give it to you.
I will not. This is hearsay, this is slander. But I know of other games where you use the in-game chat as a tool.
Yeah.
One of those teams are here.
Which one is that?
I think they were here.
I see a lot of smack talking. Is it League or Dota?
Was League of Legends here? I know Dota was here.
It was, I believe.
Okay,
I think it's
probably early weeks then.
Dota definitely
I think so. In League of Legends, you will type down in the in-game chat the cooldown of summoner spells. Flash, for example, and teleport, whatever. That way you're kind of tracking in-game exactly when they come up, because there's no tool built into the game that tells you. And another small thing that used to be the case in Siege.
Yeah.
Nowadays you have a drone counter, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day you didn't.
You used to type.
You used to say it, so like drone phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when the drone phase would end, if you're a team that's forgetful, you just type 4 in chat.
Yeah.
And then when you start killing drones, you just ask them, what's the counter again? You click the in-game chat, it's 4. So that's 5.
League of Legends was actually played already.
Yeah, I thought so, okay.
Do you know who won it?
I don't.
It was Deep Boss.
Oh.
Random.
I think I saw the quarter or semi-final, not the grand final itself. I mean, Deep Boss winning is not random, by the way. Just saying, that is not random.
Is that? Are they like one of the best?
They're pretty good.
Oh, Carmine Corp came second.
Oh, did they? I didn't
That's
see.
kind of
See, I saw T1 losing. That's the game I was watching.
Yeah, they came 4th in the end.
And DG 3rd. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. I like some League of Legends. Big fan.
You know, the game's still to play, so obviously we've got the championship of Siege today. We've got chess today as well, the grand final, which I believe is...
They're playing third place match right now as well.
Oh, really? Which is Hikaru Nakamura versus the other guy. And then we've got the young 19-year-old in the grand final up against Magnus Carlsen.
Oh, Hikaru's gone, no?
Yeah, that's why I said it's third place match.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
You're right. Anyway, of course, back into it. DZ still fighting from behind, and this time around it is a trade back and forth. Grubby finds nothing as he is taken down. But Kino also falls, and now Newers has been shot out by Sark. So you're right, Sark's very happy to get a second chance, second life. DZ going quick, but GK seem to be putting a very fast stop to their push. Of course, it's the control room bomb site, very different to what we saw from the round that never got finished. And GK, very active on this defense. They don't need to make a move, but Sarks does anyway, and he gets a little bit silly with it. Gets taken down. 2v3 is very winnable here for Fultz and NJR.
I love when a team, they have a bit of a re-host, right? And they both going to say, guys, let's control the pace, go fast into it. They're both fighting back and forth. The Nari tripwire right there.
Bro,
shocking NGR.
Teammate literally pinged it for him.
Hey, relax, buddy, okay? Oh, he got sapped again. He can't find the laser. Beep, beep, beep.
Strange move there from NJR.
20 damage every time, by the way. So nice and slow. If they find the second kill from Fultz, that could change everything into even numbers. There's still plenty of time to work with. They have no drone watching this player of viewport. He just has good game sense on this. Planting, though, I'm not sure. It honestly could be possible. There's no C4s, there's no verticality.
DZ really need this round to prevent the match point, and indeed he will go for the plant. He wants to try and bait that flank from Uport. He saw him earlier. He's got the read, great, but no, misses the shot. Needs to win this fight so critically, but he doesn't. Now NJR doesn't have that diffuser. It was such a pivotal moment there for Fultz, and NJR needs to get back in a position. Uport has just run all the way back. NJR doesn't know where he is. He doesn't have time to chase down both of these kills, nor does he have time to get that diffuser. DZ are going to go down in such a significant deficit. It's 6 rounds up for GK, for 3 for DZ. Map point here on DZ's map pick as we head into the operator bans, and I already have the call. After the operator bans are finished, Dark Zero will take their tactical timeout.
All right, so I see the bans first, yeah. What's the vibe? What are you feeling? What is the problem? I frankly couldn't tell you. I feel like there's been so many different
obstacles here.
Maybe it's the Denari.
He's like, can we ban Denari, please? I'm sick of it. Yeah, Sami is very standard.
Good move. Very good move. Though it's only been played one round so far.
Communities want to do that, like mini play. See the same thing.
What DZ have to say.
Alright, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Next time it's supply, we can send top with similar pressure off that. I want to make sure we're getting hard pressure off Weed though. More likely than not, they're going to extend off that drop the Nomad, take it Flores with the fucking con window side June down there. Rip all the shit they have, probably going to be like a shield extension, etc. I want to open up the Weed side, and then after you open Weed side, you can decide if you want to flip back into a bot, cut out the horizontal look right now, look for like a water or like a fucking like fork, Raptor window gap, shit like around there. Cut out the game side lurk. All I want to do is apply Weed pressure, then cut out his drop and supply. For command, what you call it is fine. I don't really like, doesn't really matter one way or another. The only thing I'm going to say is make sure that we're very decisive once we do take that water set, how we're going to transition into taking the Raptor, if you want to do that. And then for basement, let's just keep it simple, apply side pressure and clear against these guys.
Okay.
A good old gift to break down for all 3 bombs, because DC have to go flawless now. 3 rounds in a row. They know the rotation here from GK, and right now it's about round by round.
Yeah, 3 map points is a lot here for GK on their defense as well.
Just gotta dig deep. I mean, this gunfight in particular, I honestly thought that Force was destined to win it. Yeah.
The mouse slam.
The thing is, Force played this so well. So he went to the bomb site, started planting. There's a pre-play C4 that was popped by the default plant position. When that happens, Force gets off the plant, goes back.
He knows he must be downstairs.
Exactly. Chases the kill, does the first bit of damage, and somehow loses that fight. On the other end, NGR found the kill onto Ask in bottom garage rafters.
That should be the round.
That could have been a 2v1 favor in DC with the plant guaranteed to go down shortly after.
Also, if Fultz's fight had happened like 5 seconds after NJR gets a kill, Fultz probably thinks, maybe I won't take this fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll play the 2v1 on site and wait for that flanker from below.
Exactly.
So yeah, look, I think that was a very telling moment when we saw Fultz slam his mouse just there, because DZ are known to be the team that says, you know, screw the narrative, we don't care, we meditate before every game. Even yesterday, as Furia were slamming their drums, the 5 players sat before the match started with their eyes closed. They're meant to be the kings of mental. This is just another game. It doesn't matter to us. But clearly it matters a little bit if Fultz is having a reaction like that after a missed gunfight.
Is this spot from Grobby like actually playable? The bottom catwalk window that you just look towards, the rappel upside down outside the door.
He plays it a lot though.
I know, but with this shield, I mean, you gotta be a little bit crazy to play in that spot, right? But sometimes you need that bit of flair, that bit of like, I'm gonna do something so completely outrageous that my enemy won't even be ready for it.
Sometimes you have to take a risk. It looks like DZ want to do that right now. Kino gonna make his way up the stairs. Pressure from outside the balcony. The mute jammer. No, it doesn't stop the blitz. And Kino will find that kill onto Ask in his common position that he's been playing for most of this game. Now DZ, with the numbers advantage, can pivot. They don't have to hard commit to this one-directional push. They could go for a split push like we've seen from them before.
GK don't exactly understand what the pressure is. Jump happens to the roof still, just holding an angle. NGR gets a freebie. And now Kino on full HP up against just a singular C4. That means that Kino has almost no ways of being counterplayed. He could just walk on in with the smoke grenades, with the Incubator, the fire from Capital, and this could very easily become a plant or a kill round.
DZ don't need to overcomplicate this, but they do need to make sure they don't just fall into the same player crossfire from Grubby, Newers, and Kino's on the floor! Surely not! This can't be the way that DZ let it fall out of their hands! And into GK! It's 1-0 up in the series for the Europeans as our major champions once again find themselves at death's door!
Out of nowhere! As I was saying, only a singular C4 to counterplay Kino, the pressure from Garrett's door, IT breach, catwalk window, and the Aqua flank. And yet we didn't get to see the utility fully come to life. No smoke grenades, no Capital fire, the gunfight's not going the way of DC. GK causing another bit of an upset, taking on a big team in the first map. This happened yesterday though, and despite getting that first map victory up against FacePlan, they did not win the series.
It's true, even the greatest teams can come back from a map down. DZ did it against Weibo, and they looked good against Furia for so much of that game, but today is a whole different ball game, and GK are here to play a 7-3. That is not a close game. This is Dark Zero's map pick, and GK wrenched it out of their hands. They grabbed it and they've run away with it. Now they're looking to take down our major champions. here on the main stage.
Again, one team maybe disappointed not going to the grand finals in DC, and GK, so to speak, happy to be here. Already causing upsets, already beating expectations, and taking down so many big enemy teams, either in a map or in a series. And I feel like when you're looking at the in-game server, GK are just, there's something about them for this event. They wanted a little bit more. Their willingness to fight back in unwinnable positions, like we saw in that retake. Their ability to find picks out of nowhere. Not just one player, but all 5 have had their moments in this map.
Look, Dark Zero, they're the only team at this tournament who have actually gotten a win in a series over FaZe Clan. But GK on the flip side, they're the only ones that have done it in a best of 3 over Furia. Now GK are 1-0 up in the series. Let's toss it over to our NA and EU split on the desk.
Thank you so much, guys. It was a great game for the European representatives here in France. GK Esports take the win in map number 1 on Nighthaven Labs. And while it proved to be successful for both teams in different moments, it was GK today who sealed the show. Welcome back, Batman and Robin. I'm calling you.
For every click, every clutch, every respawn, we were there. Now, the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible. For every click, every clutch, every respawn, we were there. Now, the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest
I think if you look at the performance, I think it's a really good collective one on the side of GK. Not a single player really stepping up compared to the other one. I feel like Sox, Yoga, Grubby, everyone was stepping up here, especially the kings and makers of that 3v5 in the last rounds. But I think I was waiting to see an adaptation from that Zero. You know the way that GK is going to play. You know they're going to lurk around. And in defense, Dark Zero was spreading around. They were having huge extensions across sometimes 2 to 3 floors. That creates massive gaps on the side of GK to exploit. And quite convincingly, GK were able to pick up apart Dark Zero in these defenses. And that was, I think, the biggest problem was the lack of, I guess, adaptation to that playstyle on the side of Dark Zero.
What'd you like that GK did?
I feel like they were really patient, especially on the attacking side. You saw call out in the communication at the timeout saying that, you know, they're waiting for us to give up the space and going off of that. So if they're not going to give you the space for free, you're going to wait for them until they kind of drop their guard, and then you take the space off of that. So really just playing off of your opponent, and that's the key.
Coming into this meta in R6, it was well known that Shields played a pretty big impact. You saw some of the Blackbeard played there, and it's been one of the consistent ban choices in certain maps. How do you feel, especially as we might hear some more information around characters and cool things coming up in this next phase of Rainbow Six later on? The idea of this impact in this map, how much are Shields playing a role?
I think so far it wasn't really like high impact. I think that the way that GK plays, you know, Shields are really good to try and break up certain crossfires and have the rest of your team push towards that area. I feel like the way GK plays, they much rather have lurk operators. That's why you see them abuse Dokaibi. That's why you see them abuse Deimos. That's why you see them abuse Solid Snake. These operators that will have intel by themselves that they can abuse. And that's why you see them basically lurking on 3 different floors completely individually. A shield there would be kind of useless. So I think it's not really as strong and as used for the side of GK when they're in attack.
Okay, and I think emotionally, when you look at 2 of these teams, we've talked about the mental from Dark Zero, but was it important for GK to take map 1? We've seen them take map 1 yesterday against FaZe. Didn't end up working out for them, but is that a team that kind of, if they're going to win this series, if they're going to take 2 maps, do they kind of need this one here?
I feel like it's okay because Chalet is a strong map for them, but obviously in a series, when you pick your map, you want to make a statement. You want to win that map. Going on to DZ's map pick now, the pressure's off. If they win that map, it's okay because it's their map pick, but making sure that you start off strong on your map with the momentum is huge, and that just gives you a chance for the 2-0.
Both teams have a win streak on Chalet, that decider, Alphama, that's huge, and now the pressure shifts to Dark Zero to try to do something and take it away on GK's map, but sometimes we have these matchups that end up being just that, matchup dependent. It doesn't necessarily play to the traditional strengths. We mentioned kind of the bounce between Furia, where GK was able to beat Furia, Furia was able to beat Dark Zero. These teams have taken different games off of different opponents. So how does this matchup feel now heading into map 2?
Well, you know, I think Dark Zero need to adapt. I think I have a couple examples in mind in the previous map where I see Dark Zero fail to basically control the lurk playstyle of the side of GK. And if I just take a look back at, you know, the way that GK was attacking, for example, you have this round 6, for example, where one Kino is getting getting caught up here on the room on the top floor. The bomb site is on kitchen. 2 players are still up top. And look who's coming from basement. Here, we have Grubby on Solid Snake. So they just get 2 picks, one all the way on the top floor, one all the way from the basement. And then later on, they just don't care about the extension. They just go for the side directly. Again, finding gaps. And here, the Clash is completely isolated. They take the 2v1. And that's my problem with it. That's my problem because DZ, they keep having these big extensions. And that is way too much space. And here, we're in a scenario where it's a 3v5. DZ, they've got a massive manpower advantage. And what happens once again? The 3 main players on the side of GK are able to go and find the 1v1s. And that's an issue because Dark Zero, they're known to have the best discipline outside of the game. Iconic, they should have that discipline in the game as well. And what do we see? The 2 guys that were pushing here Aqua, both of them die. Here, 1 player just pushes into garage, he's isolated. Suddenly, from a 3v5, it's a 3v2. And look at this, it's a 3v0.
This is going to be one of those where Dark Zero have to adapt. They have to show us why they are so effective in that mental in map 2. Otherwise, it's going to be GK Esports running away with an $85,000 plus to their prizing here and the 3rd place at EWC. Chris Tunn actually has an update for us on the club championship over with Freya. Chris?
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
I've come down to the Qiddiya City Battlegrounds to check in with Freya on CS2. I mean, you guys have been down here, you go up onto the STC Arena next week, of course, but there's some big implications when it does come down to the CC side of things. Over here, we got a lot of big teams, right?
Yes, 100%. I mean, yesterday we saw Falcons securing a spot through to the playoffs, so they're guaranteed to be in the top 16. I think that's kind of breathing a sigh of relief for that club, because I know it's looking a little bit hairy at the moment, but obviously coming off the back of the IEM Cologne Major, Falcons, the major champions finally, Nico getting his. It feels like they've begun this season kind of where they left off in Cologne. I guess the bigger question for me is Vitality. It's not often that we see them lose. They lost out to Bait yesterday in a best of 3, so it wasn't a kind of, you know, best of 1 upset going down there. They looked incredibly dejected on that 3rd map. So, I mean, particularly for Apex, Zywoo, being on home soil, there's a lot of pressure for them to make it through.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Vitality are one of the teams that really need to start finding some wins as well. I think I was looking at, we have a little graph back in our documents, and it's like a 3% chance that they could still win it. The fact that they still have a chance, though, it says a lot about their chances within the last week. So, any other teams kind of lingering around? I know FaZe have kind of made it through, your G2, that kind of thing. Any other teams kind of on the precipice a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, just to touch upon the eliminations, 100 Thieves, unfortunately, saying goodbye to them. They made it through their LCQ, but it kind of felt like they reached the ceiling when it comes to these more top teams. I guess I want to turn the attention to the players who aren't playing anymore behind us, because Na'Vi just won the 1st map in that best of 3 versus the Mongols. They looked pretty solid there. I would put them as maybe one of the dark horses to be potentially taking the title here.
Oh, excellent. Well, let's see how Na'Vi do. Fred, thank you very much. We'll be checking in with you next week. Guys, back to you.
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing. Let's go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
Raw energy. House from blow the house down.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons. They have crushed the curse.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Well, Dark Zero lost their map 1 against Weibo, and they had the opportunity to come back. This has been a team that's been resilient. GK Esports on the other side, also like Dark Zero, come into it having lost the map. And the benefit of this, guys, is that you get to see one team continue that kind of losing streak and one team kind of break it here in this 3rd place match.
Yeah, and the main thing is we're starting to see a pattern of Dark Zero losing the first map, picking up exactly what kind of playstyle they're facing, and then adapt and come back from it. So I'm not too worried about Dark Zero. They're going to go onto their map pick now, especially I think the fact they're going to start attack is a blessing in disguise. I know this map is usually defender-sided, but this gives them the opportunity to not have to deal with that a little bit of worrying of the lurking playstyle of GK that especially is strong in attack. They will start by being proactive. They remove Asami, that will make obviously the piano side much easier to attack. And now as we look at this, obviously GK does not want to face a shield on the side of Dark Zero.
Kino, they were talking about second best shield player in the world. So some of those bans coming through. Iconic, what are you seeing here?
Getting rid of the Grim. Grim's going to be a great displacement operator, just be able to shoot the beast and get information for your team. The Wamai too just going to hurt the extension. A lot of times you see the C1 being a pivotal position here with the Aruni gates or the Jaeger. So it's going to hurt that extension right now. And you should see a lot more Aruni/Jaeger coming out on the top 4 sites.
All right, gentlemen. Well, the round is set. The map, we already know where we're going, should be Cafe, and this one could be a big one. North America trying to bounce back, or will it be Europe that reigns supreme in this matchup? Let's send it back over to your casters, Dev and Pengu, to kick us off map 2.
Thank you very much, Rain Day. Welcome to Cafe, Pengu. Can I take your order?
I was thinking about it for a second.
Yeah,
I'm not that hungry.
Really? Well,
but how about
this morning? Do you remember what you ordered this morning at the cafe?
An omelette.
And do you remember the coffee you ordered?
I got a crème coffee.
Café crème.
Café crème.
Café crème. Un café crème, s'il vous plaît.
Got some bread with butter and
pain. Pain avec confiture?
Yeah, something like that. It's like something
framboise. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
Sorry to the French.
We have a little cafe near the hotel we've been going most mornings.
It's good. I mean, I was going to order a banger of a series, but that's just me.
Oh, that would have been a good answer.
That would have been. I wasn't lead a horse to water, but you can't make it.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it. I'm not gonna lie. I was in my own head. I was thinking about like making a point about the Monty, the Sami, the Ward, man, how much influences, or my rather, how much influence it has on like the piano aspect of the map. And then we're starting downstairs in kitchen. I'm like, this doesn't matter.
Hey, piano is still relevant. J9 has just made his way upstairs already.
There's no enemies. This is Tim, on his lonesome, on his handsome, walking down the red staircase, fighting for that map control.
Nice little way though to use the RAM. Obviously, you want to use that to get vert, but you can also use it to hop breach, as we saw from J9. So nice little way to start the roam clear. Once you finish the roam clear, you can start getting to the main job, which is the vert for RAM.
Shout out Kino, by the way. Bro's playing Fuse Shield. I'm a huge fan.
Dedicated.
Yeah, and this is one of the few bomb sites, I think, in the whole game where it actually does have significant value up against others like your Maestro, your etc. Great value there from J9. Finds a very close to U-Port. That's the Warden and the C4 remove from action. But the thing about the Fuse here is that you can pop it down on the soft floor, break apart the Vulcan canisters from the Goyo, any sort of setup with the barbed wires, the deployment. Okay, we're hitting our teammates with DMP. That's fine. Control. The second one hits the correct mark. So right now, after clearing utility, dodging C4s and staying alive, they can put down the Sense projector walls, start fusing the floor, maybe prep one for late round, drop down the hands, go for a plant. This should be for DC 100% about playing for the plant and the post.
Yep. Of course, question is, will there be any fires?
Beautiful coverage.
As the coverage from the Sens wall comes on out. Newers will go down, however. And there is still the presence here in VIP, held by Yogg. The plant being confirmed by Kino at the moment as the flank comes through from Grubby. He finds one. This will need to be a big flank opportunity now from GK. Into the 3v3 coverage upstairs by NJR on this flank watch, and he gets Grubby dead to rights. Yogg now still needs to make a move from VIP as Ask managed to detonate that fiery Kiba, rather the Vulcan canister from Goyo. Will be traded back from the 90-degree angle from J90. Now Yogg in a 1v2, and NJR is up above on the vert. Beautiful plant, beautiful cover from DZ.
Yeah, that right there is just strategical knowledge of like where can we plant that's absolutely safe, and they do it smartly. They jump into the bomb site window to plant deeply. It's a mini croissant. And with that, the C4 cannot reach, the smoke canisters cannot reach. The plant is guaranteed to go down because there's no line of sight with the Sense projector walls either. So again, perfect understanding. Good flank attempt there from Grubby, not gonna lie, but it doesn't matter. J90 deep in the bomb site, and NGR did retake that top forward. or upstairs room.
Yeah, I have to wonder, if you're a player like Kino, you know, how many rounds of Siege are you playing a day, right? Scrimming, like, how many rounds of Siege are you playing
At least 10
a month, right? At least 10. It's a lot more than 10.
Okay, so on average, you know,
a scrims?
It's safe
12,
to say
12
that you
rounds?
play 3 maps at least 6 days a week. And then there are days you do more than 3, but 3 is the minimum.
So let's say average of like 12.
Although when you got Pro League, you don't play as much.
So 12 rounds in a scrim, right?
Yeah.
Scrims, yeah?
Yeah, guaranteed 12 rounds. You play 6 halves.
12 rounds. Pardon me. Pardon me, I just had to cough for a second. 12 rounds of scrim, 3 scrims a day, that's 36 rounds.
That's 36 rounds.
6 days a week, 6 times 36 is an unknowably large number.
Nice.
I think it's 300 and something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a crazy number. What percentage do you reckon he's playing a shield? A pretty damn high number.
Pretty damn high number. I mean,
most of his attacks.
Honestly, I think the number is in like, depending on the meta at the time, whatever, but I'm probably like in the 50 to 65% category for the attacking side.
Isn't that insane? Like that's
for the attacking side.
Probably like 100 or so rounds in a week of shields.
And that's not counting for ranked and whatever else you do on your own time, right? So yeah, and this is why, exactly the reason why, some players are phenomenal at the shields, because if you play that many rounds often, you learn the weaknesses and the strengths. Then you have players who started playing shields recently because of the shield meta, who's only clocked a couple of hours and maybe only a couple of 100 rounds on the shields in all their use of pro play. That right there is a difference maker between a great shield player and a decent shield player. And Kino, one of the all-time greats.
Absolutely. How many do you think you've played? How many hours do you think you've played on Monty, for example?
Well, I have like so many accounts I've played on, and you know,
right, your main account, which is I'm guessing is pengu.psg, is it?
It doesn't track custom games. That's the issue.
Nah.
It only tracks ranked games.
Disappointing.
But shields usually are my most played operators in ranked. I think Monty, Blitz, and Fuse are all top 3 the last couple seasons that I've played.
Disgusting.
So there is that. But we got the reveal coming in not too long, and there is a question mark about. Are the shields going to be useless?
That new the shield-busting operator coming out.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. That's coming out later today. Wow, big double kill, making a triple for Ask with the LMG on the Maestro. Love to see that from GK. Bit of energy. DZ try and dominate this top floor with a bit of aggression, but it doesn't work out. And really, they're just fighting one man who's solo holding with this LMG.
81 bullets, packs a punch. Not about the cameras, not about you, so just about the fighting. Gets shot down. Crossfire stabbing Cigar and from Cocktail. Kino finds that frag. Now, the benefit of having the Solid Snake in the late round with so many deaths that every single member that dies, your teammate or your opponent will drop a little satchel. You see that blue icons on the floor, you can run across them and pick up any piece of secondary utility with the exception of Heartbeat's gadget. So you can get up a frag grenade or a flash grenade or a smoke grenade, but only one of each in pocket. Kino goes down, leaving Newers in a 1v3.
You can bait this out one by one. You might have a chance. Good weapon in the F2. Sarks waiting on the close angle with the shotgun. Diffuser just behind Newers.
Wallbang right here.
Very possible here. You just got to have the better reaction times against the shotgun. Wow, it's a crossfire. He reads it, but Upor still finds the kill regardless. Good response from GK. Convincing round of defense.
Just fighting, fighting, fighting.
Hey Cypher, welcome to stream. शादी कब करे यार Cypher यार. ठीक है भाई ठीक है. रेमो 6 मोबाइल स्ट्रीम होगी आज नहीं होगी मैं कल सुबह करूंगा आज नहीं हो पाएगी आज बहुत नींद में हूं मैं
Can I get an Eiffel Tower?
नींद आ रही है
Get it next to the camera. We'll get a little
कल मॉर्निंग होगी मॉर्निंग
Getting a photo of it.
Oh, how beautiful. Merci beaucoup. Mwah.
Today has been a game of distractions.
It has.
There are conversations happening. There are plays in the server. There's a cameraman roaming around who's also he's getting the stickers ready while carrying a huge camera. By the way, I was thinking, what is happening?
I was like, are they gonna just like take a photo of us? No, okay. All right, back to the conversation we were having before, Pengu. What do you think your most played 3 operators in ranked are
of all time?
Yeah, and they're all attackers.
On attack. On attack, Ace is on there.
Yep, that's your number 1.
So, okay, there's a caveat here. The rank system doesn't track until after year 7, so you have to keep that in mind.
Okay.
So Thatcher wouldn't be on there because that was in the past. I'm gonna go Monty.
Yep. I'm number 2.
I'm gonna go Blitz.
Yep. Number 3.
Bang! I knew
Dirty
it.
shield player right here exposed on stream.
And there was a season where Fuse was third instead of Ace because Ace was spent all the time.
You also have a 1.65 KD on Blitz with 654 rounds played.
Not
you
bad.
Absolute demon.
It's not bad.
It's disgusting.
Look at my all-time win percentage record. If of all time, like
on
go back,
what?
Goes back to my main profile.
Oh,
like,
okay.
not the operators. Sorry, Self-Glacier.
Win percent is 79.6. Oh, shut up.
Lifetime ranked, hold up. Lifetime ranked 82.5 with a 2 KD. Over
1.94 KD, okay, come on.
Over 5,000 games. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's
not bad.
5,000 games with only less than 500 losses. Machine. All right, let's see. What's this from Grubby?
To lock in.
From Cigar Lounge. He actually finds a double kill. I think they mustn't have realized that he was tucked around behind the minibar, and he feels exposed. He still finds it. This nade, I don't think that'll flush him out of his position. He's happy to just tank the damage. It also doesn't even destroy the minibar, but those explosions go both directions. A nitro cell tossed out from down below in train by Sarks, gets the injure onto Newers. I think they have an inkling. Good pre-fire from Foles. Almost traded back. Newers will get back up on his feet. DZ will try and pick up the pieces of this very grim-looking round.
Early disruption time and time again. It was Ask previously, now Grubby finding 2 quick kills. Newers on low health too. They do have NJ for verticality, but he's walking down the white staircase looking for a fight instead, so that hammer not going to be used downstairs. Jock was waiting for him. An absolute freebie. And DC not having a ton of strat right now in the server. No step 1, step 2, step 3 because they fall early in the round.
It'll have to come down to fishing for picks here. But look at GK, 2 players right next to each other in Dining Hall. There's no way that Foltz can find both of these kills, and they're keen to peek for it. Ars takes a lot of damage to that LMG, but Foltz cannot deliver the killing blow. Walking through the flank track stingers, Sarks will put the pressure on as Ars gets aggressive. GK feeling confident today on the defensive half of Cafe. It's another round where DZ looked more lost than ever.
Yeah, again, DC's gonna slow down the game right now, take it step by step. Don't fall early in those gunfights, get the drone work going. I do think that Multiban has been super influential because it's so hard to play the other shields. The verticality, the C4s, the long-range gunfire that's gonna be happening. It's such an uncomfortable map to play, you know, the Blackbeard, the Blitz, the Fuse, with some bumps and exceptions, of course, like that kitchen and kitchen downstairs. Valkyrie get bent away here. Information and verticality speak about it. And then Ying, combining with the Grim, weakens to execute, and DC will call their attack time to prepare for the second half of the attack.
Remember we kind of talked about off that, like they do the, it's like the Valkyrie extend out towards like Skylight side or kind of red, whatever it is that falls back. If you want to go fast in that bulker part as the intro, one adjustment I want to make here though, is let's bring the snake early to like the piano south side windows, get pings across for like whatever the fuck they're doing right there, and then we can go into whatever we want to afterwards. But in general, mid sites, let's just slow down a little bit. We can start with the spread, and then if we want to go into piano over off that, we can. If we want to go crowd kill, we can. Just slow down a little bit though. Like these guys are not playing very good Cafe defense right now. They're just taking advantage of us not being ready for their rat shit, basically, is all this.
Yeah.
Heard. Or on this, anticipate the 90%. If we see it again, we can run it again with the dope, or we can flip into something else like a 32. Treat it as seen.
They're not playing a very good defensive half on Cafe. We're just falling for their rat bleep. And they are doing some rat plays, it is true, but DC themselves are not droning all the corners. They're not slowing down enough to stabilize the round. They rabble in, completely oblivious to the fact that Robbie was just there in the corner the entire time. And that's the second time in a row now where the entire round has been determined inside piano. And when you have the Asami, the Wamai, and the Multiban, like I said in the very beginning, it really plays so heavily from both sides about Cigar and piano, because those are operators that heavily get utilized in those positions. DC haven't seemed super aware of that. They've been skipping some steps, they've been punished, but with that call-out being mentioned from that call-out being taken by call-out, that's such an awkward sentence. Hopefully DC can switch it up.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, you have to play the game that's before you right now. You can't try and play the game that you prepared for if that's not the one that you're playing in the server, right? If you've voted GK, you know they like to play certain bomb sites in specific ways. This guy roams here, this guy likes to fall back at this time. They have this set up here. That's great. And then you tunnel vision on that, and you forget that you probably should drone piano before you have 2 people swing inside, and Grubby is there to get the free double. I mean, the round was very much not your typical round of Siege after that had happened, because of Grubby getting that early 2-pick. Now DZ look to try and attack onto Kitchen. Now this is where the map started. DZ were very good at attacking this bomb site. Cafe is quite defensive sided. If DZ win here and then win one of the next 2 rounds, they could very much turn this game around.
There's going to be a pocket pick here from GK to change it up though. The clash
and Ask hid in the prep phase.
Yeah, and doesn't care as much about the verticality from the attacks. You can kind of walk below it with the shield covering. You can walk in towards the plant spot, put down the shield, go for a kill. So GK having a different win condition. They're also playing a ton of different time denial operators. You know, the fire, the smoke, even the 2-brow they could use for a hatch if they really want to commit to it. But DC, I mean, they are great at executing in a 5v5 fashion when they can get all the right pieces together. We saw that the last time when they found their first round victory. This should be a similar story. So this is GK doing a handshake deal with DC saying, we will take the 5v5 late, and we believe that we can win it this time.
I like that from DZ. The adaptation to use the Hibana, and then you've got Extrovert, no more Sledge, but it's much safer to breach that hatch. Also gives you more options in the late round for additional hard breach should you desire to do so. The question is, with no Fuse, how will DZ look to try and clear the Vulcan canisters on the bomb site? No grenades either. No Twitch, so no real util to try and counter it. I think they might have to swap. Yeah, go for a bake take.
I see Kino upstairs on the roof. I see 2 players outside. First they baited, Gonzix goes out, and force the first fire. Stall for 20 seconds. Captain responds. The Clash will count as the Kino shield. That's the issue.
Nitro is big. Big, and a second one from Uport to follow up. He's using this Clash perfectly as Ask protects him. Uport could fall back right now, but I think he wants to continue holding on to Bakery for as long as physically possible. With no shield left for DZ, and with the Hibana taken down, there are such few options now for the North American squad.
Perfect arrival there from Ask. All about putting the Clash in the execute position for counterplay. With 35 seconds to go here, DC outside the building, no real openings, and as long as GK don't overcommit to a bad swing solo-like, there should be a lockout for a 3-1.
Yeah. Good barbed wire here as well. Forces News to clear it with the grenade. He will be walking into a 3-way crossfire if he swings here. It's easy for Sarks to take that 1v1, knowing that he's got a teammate holding this crossfire. And Yogg quickly swings onto Faults. J90, 1v5, make it a flawless. Big round from Uport in the Bakery. And it looks like on Kitchen, GK have finally figured out how to cook.
Frustration from Dark Zero players now can only imagine. Again, they called attack timeout. Again, it falls apart way too early in a very simple fashion as well. It's, again, the small details not coming together for DC, and we saw the effectiveness of the multi-ban. It's like, this is such an insane counterplay. Because you're sapping the shield with the Clash, the shield doesn't get the explosive resistance, so Kino dashes to a singular C4. And they push straight into it, straight into the setup. Didn't have the correct read there from DC. I'm not sure if they even knew that Clash was on the board until it arrived at Bakery or not. I honestly have no idea. It didn't seem like they had that figured out.
Right. I mean, you look at the lineup there from DZ that last round. You've got Gridlock, Hibana, Blitz, Capitao, and Ram. The only thing to try and deal with that Clash was the Capitao, and fire arrows were not placed in the right positions to try and deal with it or suppress it at all. DZ got outplayed in the operator selection phase, and now they have 2 chances before we say goodbye to their attacking half to try and find a little bit of redemption. The final bans have come on out before the prior round. The Clash was left through. DZ decided to get rid of the Valkyrie, but that's fine here. I mean, GK have shown that they're happy to play the Mozzie, which has a double effect. You can use those cameras, the hacked drones, like Valkyrie cameras, but also it's just more drone denial. And with the recent buffs that have come through to Mozzie's gadget, it's such powerful drone denial, especially on maps that are so centered around windows.
Yeah. And singled always. I mean, Cafe through the #1 Mozzie map right now. C4, secondary shotgun, and the gadget as you mentioned. So, good bit of value there from Sarks. And again, what can DC do? They can slow down the game, drone more, get more intel. Well, Mute/Mozzie completely plays into that again. They got the mirror windows as well, which gets protected by the Mute Jammers and by the Mozzie Pest. DC, they are desperate for an opening pick. They are desperate to make this round easier, more consistent. Because if it comes down to high-risk gameplay, GK, they thrive in that area.
Oh wow, electing not to shoot the Gridlock tracks from Yogg. He's actually going to tank damage from them as well.
He's standing still in it, so he's kind of just vibing.
It's very strange. He could be knifing them even. But he's going to have the debuff while he's in the track stingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he should have just shot them, but he's got the debuff now. He can't sprint for a few seconds as he falls on back.
Oh, Ajar's in.
Yeah, JR needs to find this kill as well. Being contested, but it's a crossfire. Well played. As Grubby gets the injure.
Solo push.
Are you kidding me? Fultz is running Twitch shotgun? Is this deliberate? I've never seen this before. This can't be deliberate.
He has attachments on it, so that's a good sign, I guess.
I mean, it's a good shotgun, but he doesn't have an automatic weapon now, and the pistol for Twitch is not particularly powerful. He looks to go deep. Finds a kill with the Twitch shotgun. I don't think I've ever seen that in a pro match before. Hungry for more, looking for a second in close range. Now this is where the shotgun really comes to play. Never underestimate that French shotty. Upor, though, he's got a shotgun of his own. This one fires slugs. Takes J90's head clean off, 3v3. He's trapped here in Laundry. Oh, he's going to take so much damage. He's going to die. Grubby now on the vert, might find an angle onto Keynote. The plant will start. Grubby can deny this, though. This is very risky. A lot of damage now on defaults as Ask finally takes him on down. It's up to Keynote to find a safe haven to plant, but he has no util left. Newers must do the majority of the work here for DZ. Holding into the post plant. Keynote's taken down very low. The retake is well and truly on for Ask and Grubby. As I say that, the Brazilian will fall. It's all up to Grubby now as he wants to try and drop. Two players watching his position. I just don't think he's got it in him to make this one work. Into the crossfire he goes. DZ, they had a drought of rounds, but finally, after a very unorthodox attack, they look to finally get themselves back into it. Kino to close a second round on the attacking side for DZ.
Nice try there, but with no intel for the defense, Grubby couldn't figure out where to do the verticality to find that plant there, and Kino, very good job there, not going for an ordinary default plant spot, knowing that Grubby was chasing on the verticality, just into like a random corner in the bomb side. Much more unorthodox, it works off very well, but the way the DC start the round, NJR solo flying in the building with no trade game whatsoever. Either he was playing a calculated game of distraction, or Grubby actually did find that spot.
Wow.
Either he was playing a random game of distraction, hoping that the other teammates are going to push forward successfully, which they did do, thankfully. But I don't like the fact that they are doing these solo plays from DC because they've been falling apart so early for so many of these rounds.
Yeah, they have another strange round. Surely Fultz isn't going to be running the shotgun again here on the Twitch.
Hey, it was good for one.
It was
almost
good for one.
For two.
Honestly, if he had gone, he absolutely could have killed, I think it was Upor, the one playing inside of Laundry. Absolutely could have taken the fight on him with that shotgun. But no, yeah, strange round from DZ. I don't really know how to read that. Kaid comes out here for GK. It's going to make that hatch a lot more difficult to breach. It's also going to protect this mirror window. The Twitch is picked off of, as is the Ash. So fewer counters here for those mirror windows. And I mean, no EMP.
Fewer, but there's not.
Yeah, well, no EMPs either. The arguably only counter that mirror window is the smoke from the Capitao. But no EMPs here to open up those electricals and get that hatch, get that mirror.
Let's see how DC they play this. Again, tertiary bomb site. Mining is, on paper, gonna be a higher chance of win here for the attack, but there's gonna be a mirror window in play, supported by the Kai Claws and the hatch. And DC, again, they might struggle with time if they go for a full clear. Again, they want to be cautious. They don't want to die early, and that means play a bit slow, be a bit safer. And if you do that, plus a full map control clear, again, we're talking about the timer working against them. NJ on the same window as the previous round. This time is a castle barricade protecting his arrival inside the building. We'll break it open.
Oh,
for now, stay on the exterior.
He's a perfect operator to deal with this, though. He's got flashes to burn, and now the nade comes in.
It's on in.
Yeah, Upor, though, meanwhile, has found not only one, but Yoga jumps outside from the White Stairs window. And with that, TCSG claims a kill. He's actually looking to try and contest. This is so dirty, as if Yoga continues fighting. Genino wants to take this gunfight. He's got essentially wall hacks onto this player while he's detected outside. But Yog knows the angle here for Genino is not easy. And as he tries to swing around, Yog will take him down from outside. Insults added to injury by GK as they look to swim through so cleanly on this defense. It's going to be a 4-2 split. Newers tries to 1v5, but I think that we have another flawless round coming right up for GK.
Yog is still outside the building as well, waiting for a second fight. Newers gonna take it on the corner, just like his teammate. Can he come out victorious?
Another one. Ah! Gets the injure finally. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
He can't get the kill.
Eventually goes around the corner, but now worried about the player above him. Worried that he's going to get baited, trying to go for the finish off. Yeah, and he takes some damage all the way from the balcony on the other side. Get your kill, fine, get your one. Pad that stat, get that KD, it doesn't matter. Ask is coming for you. GK are running DZ down. First they took their map pick on Labs here on Cafe, 4-2 in the first half. A wry smile from Shepard. And it's time for the halftime timeout.
Giving up, like, you guys are kind of identify it. You listen to what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
They're giving up, like, the tarp area, like, they're coming in and out of, like, cocktail back and forth, and also we've shown now twice that we're going to go over and try to OPK that. Ignore the OPK for now. If you want to go slow on the piano side, you can just call the base against these guys. They're not using rounds nearly as much as I thought they were. And, like, we can just bring the thatch with the Cade, work the walls across, and just keep it slow against them on, like, that mid-site. Reading, however, I will say off that last one, if you're not thinking go piano for whatever reason, the rush did look like it was there, like on the actual site side rush. And then kitchen, you just clear, we go copy side. If we see the clash, bring the nomad. Like, just bring the nomad no matter what, even if you don't identify the last operator. Just box them out like you do against Onyx.
Heard that.
And on this defensive side, make a pretty quick read. It is a different map than Nighthaven, kind of like AD was saying. So, like, there isn't like a real rafter on this map, for example. But if, like, they're just absolutely dominating that first zone, you've got to be a little more decisive. And if we're going to, like, fall back to the second one, we're going to fight there. If we're going to fight for the first one, we can't really get caught in, like, that bridge, kind of like it was on Nighthaven with Jack on Rafter. It's like...
For the like the newer special, anti-run out, and otherwise I think we just need to, you know... Huh?
What is the anti-run out?
Like,
I'm gonna cover you guys.
Yeah, and I think like otherwise, so what? Like we need to take piano, Shaco guys. Don't stand still. Like when we have tougher control, take it guys and set up for the execute. You know, don't padding the comms guys. If they're gonna go basement, they always have one roamer. So we can do the first for split, and the guy will always walk down brown. He's always gonna walk down brown or gonna walk down white. So if the guy wants to walk down brown, I'm gonna always take the code check route.
Do you still wanna force the first split in case they're playing to Barao long bar to deny the sense? Yeah?
If they're playing, like I'm just gonna, I can choose. Like I can either walk on the guy long bar and kill him for you.
No, I think you always.
The Shepherd.
Interesting.
Not hurting the crowd there. It is Grobby taking control, saying they're very specific about piano, Shaiko, don't stand still on the soft floor.
I love the way that he said, look, if you need, in this specific situation, if you need to kill this guy, I can walk by long bar and kill him for you. Like, it's one thing to think, oh, I can get a kill here, I can do this thing for myself. It's another thing, if I do this, I will enable you to do that.
Yeah.
I like that teamwork there between Grubby and Sark.
It's very specific, which I like. I think it's easier to say, guys, very simply, fight with piano, fight with Shago, mindful, do not stand still on soft floor. It's very simple, but it goes a long way, and so much of this comes down to the first step of the round of Cafe. You often find yourself on the window repels, fighting for Cigar, fighting for piano, and if you get a foothold in the building and you get that first step accomplished, the round is looking super solid. On the flip side, like we saw how DC lost the majority of their attacking rounds, they never got that foothold. The second they tried to enter, they were dead. When there were repels, they were getting C4'd, and you could never stabilize the rounds. So it feels very European playstyle of GK to go for those focus points and talk so much about it. And they banned both the Mira and the Wamai as well, which supports the same story of the piano and that initial foothold.
True, but it does leave the Kaid on the board here, picked up by Kino, which brings another Nitro cell to an already deadly lineup. 3 Nitros here, aided by the Pulse to get those vertical kills for DZ. The Kaid as well is going to be hard to counter. Yogg will want to breach open the hatch, in particular in the J9Os reinforcing in piano, but it's going to be very hard to do so, especially look at Kino breaching a lot of the floor around the hatch to make it so that it's not possible to put an exothermic charge next to the hatch. It's very nice. Pretty cool. I don't really know how you get that Electroclaw off without Upor sneaking a Twitch drone into sight, though, which would be very hard.
You could possibly get a grenade in between the layers of the floor, but depending on the signal of the cores, it might not reach. It's a bit tricky. Right now, it's actually on the soft floor next to the hatch, at least for one of them. So.
Well, in which case, that is winnable.
Yeah,
that is
you gotta pick the right side. That's the other issue.
I mean, you can also just use Hibana pellets and destroy that part of the floor if you, you get the guess right.
You can try and fish in the soft floor again. That's why they broke it. So we'll see how they play it out.
Oh, and the second Electroclaw is actually downstairs, protecting the mirror window upstairs on the third floor.
Very nice.
Yopor has so much to scout for though. Razor Blooms, go to your canisters, general information, default cams, and the kite claw. So yeah, I really pick your targets right now, and obviously big priority is going to be the kite claw if you can find it. Actually, I take it back. The big priority there was deliberately the Vulcan canisters.
He got 3 of them though.
Yeah, and he sold the 4th as well.
Yeah, good value. So now a nade will take down the 4th for sure from Grubby, I expect. Wow, a lot of damage. Unusual to see a player expose themselves to the skylight so early on, but Grubby will go down. The player that said he wanted to go for a kill and take down a guy long by. Actually, he's the first one to fall. And NS
nice
from Faults to himself.
Pat your own back there. I will say, the DC off that pick, they give up top floor control entirely, letting GK get closer and closer to execute. So now it's all about the verticality. 3 C4s, ton of intel. X-Kairos here on the corners, looking for the Kaid.
This should destroy the
And this should get it. One of those many X-Kairos.
Very nice.
Just pop it open. Oh, they're pretending. They're skipping a step. They're just going to go for it.
Yeah, straight into it.
They have no idea.
Yeah, there's no info here from DZ. They really should be. Nitro cells are not used in time. There's only one left. Yogg finds his. NJR looking for the retake. The post plant here is winnable for DZ. GK have lost a lot of manpower. And now Kino is looking to try and get on that counter defuse. Is there anybody there from GK? There is no answer! It's a retake from Dark Zero. GK completely pantsed. And the North Americans steal the first round on that defensive side.
So the way that they get into the plant is going off pace, pop the hatch, straight planting. But then, likewise, DC also push forward very quickly, take down the guy who got the diffuser down, and go for an instant counter defuse. GK then caught by surprise themselves, thinking that was really quickly. Didn't have the vert, didn't have a guy outside on the bomb site window, and didn't have a player inside a pillar either for the line of sight. The sad thing there is probably a world where you could see that diffuser from pillar window rappel, from red staircase, the soft wall open up. There are so many good positions there, but none utilized by GK. They had Yooper, I think, top wide watching the flank when they were 10 seconds into a post. That's a lack of drone that should be replacing that position.
DC are very quick. They're good at retakes. We've seen a lot of retakes in the last, all week, really.
I think DC have the most retakes at this event. I'm very sure of that.
That would be a very interesting stat to have.
That we don't have.
That we don't have. One thing I'm seeing a lot of here from DZ is the pulse, actually, funnily enough. We saw a lot out of them as well on labs. I wonder if GK will see it as enough of a threat to ban come the 3rd round, but you know, there's a lot of very powerful ops on defense that DZ like getting into. You know, the pulse is one.
I think the pulse is a bit of a bait, right? Because like, let's say you ban the pulse, they play the Valkyrie, they play the Solace. Like, there's a lot of different like substitutes to the pulse operator. Whereas if you ban the Asami, that's a very niche, very unique operator.
And a great example of an operator that they haven't played as of yet, which is one of the most popular operators on Cafe, the Asami, still yet to be played.
You could also see DC. This would probably not happen from their side, but if they want to do a curveball, ban Brava, start playing Maestro. Cafe is one of the few Maestro maps that we see, especially in APL. From Kinocho.
I
They
love
like
that.
to bring it here.
My homie Carwow.
Yeah. They have had pretty good success with it. There is the counter argument that against GK's playstyle, their explosivity on the attack. I think Maestro's been too slow paced in the server, unlike the Pulse Valkyrie, etc. So maybe a bit risky. For now, though, all about the layers. We got Jaeger on the board with triple ADS stack and Shaiko and Piano. This goes back to what Grubby spoke about. Fight for Piano, fight for Shaiko spot, fight for Pixel as well. Step 1, do not stand stone soft floor. That's what all this will cover.
Good drone work here from GK. Yogg getting a lot of info on this setup. Spotted out the power position spots the 3 mute jammers that are meant to try and stall out drones, haven't successfully done so. Sark's looking for a bit of a lurk from down all the way below in pillars. And now it's his time to move. Bomb side is actually reading, and he's almost inside of it, especially with Faults going down.
Actually, had the diffuser here. Imagine.
GK have a gap.
They could send Ask in there and try and go for a plan, but he's so far away on the roof. It does. Uport's in there.
Oh my god. Shotty comes out, traded back by J90. Upor, though, has done a lot of damage. And you're right, GK still have a plant opportunity. I mean, Sarks has gotten so deep into the objective still with no diffuser. As Ask is all the way up on the cigar balcony.
Yeah.
He could try and enter the bomb site. Oh, I think Sarks might have been spotted.
Yeah.
Indeed he has. Well done from that bulletproof camera in the bomb site. However, GK have enough kills here that they are still in favor. NJR tries to make his way forward, but the M76 True wins true for Yogg. It's Gen.0 in a 1v3, and yeah, it just ain't happening. Not happening today, not happening any day of the week. It's another round on the board for GK. 5-3 on their map pick, and DZ starting to feel a bit of pressure. 2 rounds away from losing this match.
DZ kind of just playing into the randomness of GK's playstyle right now, you know? Sark's been to the bomb site, they don't realize they fight top floor, they allow Uper in on new balcony, getting a kill before they turn their attention towards him, leaving gaps open for the attack. So both new balcony, brown staircase, the bomb site taken completely for free. And the pulse was downstairs, but ineffective. Was walking toward the white staircase, not scanning anything, and that's where the gaps were left open. So DC, it feels like a bit of a communication problem right now in the server. They also don't contest GK in piano like we spoke about, in Shaiko below the skylight, or inside a cigar. So they're giving up so much for free, falling back step by step, falling back step by step. And GK do not care. You give them ground, they happily take it. They do not care about your setups. They will win their gunfights. And when you have NGR playing the Reaper secondary on poles, taking a long-distance gunfight, you know something is wrong. It is probably one of the worst guns in the game for that sort of battle, or against a DMR from the attacker or any ACOG zoom scope. So I want to see DC get into better fighting positions with the right guns, with the right operators, with the right person behind them. NGR Aquino now on the DMR/Slock Shoddy, looking to get a better percentage in their gunfights. Probably against 3, if not 4 DMRs themselves.
Reloading.
It's gonna be a good old bakery take, right? You roll off the double door bottom red. You can jump on in. There is a huge counter, which will be NGR on Aruni. The issue is, he's the bakery player, so he cannot go into wedding and punch this barricade, so instead, explosions will happen.
Oh, nice Nitro Cell.
C4.
Yeah, Nitro Cell used to try and take down that Ryora.
Got 3 more doors.
Yeah, the door can be redeployed here. Impacts from Newers could potentially rotate into position. NJR is still actually fairly safe here. EMP from Thatcher misses. Interesting.
For right now.
This Electroclaw is still up and active, which means that Grubby cannot deploy another one of his Selmas.
I mean, if the Captain Fire gets into the mix right now, that could force NGR off this position, and therefore they can try and bait the kill, but finally York into the action, fire in hand, they're waiting for the push.
False just waiting, biding his time. He's got a crossfire as well with NJR as they do fall back. They sacrifice control of Bakery. The fire from Yogg gains the ground in theory, but not in reality, because GK have not actually moved into Bakery as of yet. NJR can always just rotate back inside.
Okay, GK. I think GK
so they're not going to like jump in the wedding window. They can't fight for prep. There's no shield for that pushing power. So this is GK finally being stuck outside the building. The best spot possible so far for DC.
Here comes Flashbang needs to go out. It's time to get active here into Bakery for Grubby. They go deep. Pistol comes out for us. Finds his kill. Backstab from Socks. Oh, J9, Newers and Kino, be careful. You're losing all control. You're losing sight of this game. As GK start to run away with it. Sarks, another one. A flank from J9O to take down Upor is not enough as of yet. GK still have that Bakery control. Ask with a DMR. Sarks waiting for the close range engagement with that shotgun.
DMR.
As he gets back, rifle in hand. J9O needs to take that fight sooner or later. Do him and Newers lash out, or do they wait patiently?
Right now, separate fights across the board for both teams. Two teams, 25 seconds. Newers, as long as he's alive, a plant cannot go down.
It's up to Ars to win this gunfight. That's what he needs to do right now. Knows exactly where he is. Now he has to find both of them. Out comes a pistol. Another one for him.
Nice.
J9O will trade back 3K.
The
big man on Dark Zero. It's enough to keep their hopes alive for a little bit longer.
Well done, NGR, finding a pick, staying alive, sidestepping the fire, the EMPs, and all that counter util inside of Bakery. That puts DC in a winning position. No one overstepped. They took the fights relatively together for the first time here on Cafe's defense side. Operator Bands, we spoke about it briefly earlier. Asami worked for every single bomb site. That was like one of the logical ones, that or specific niche countering, like the pulse or the Valkyrie for intimidation. And on the other side, Grim being targeted away, which I don't think GK will be too bothered by, but with the Solid Snake band paired with the Grim, it can get information from outside the building to the inside, with the exception of drones.
GK audience.
Look, if these rounds are going to come this close for DZ, I'm still a little bit scared for them. GK got in so quickly. Can I just say, Ask Man, going with the pistol for 2 fights? The mechanical confidence to sacrifice an automatic weapon and go with the pistol. I mean, you're realistically only winning those fights if they're headshots, which they both were, by the way, but he chooses the pistol because he can sprint faster while it's equipped.
Also no zoom scope for the first close quarter engagement fast ADS speed. A lot of upsides there for the pistol. We saw Grubby the same thing as well earlier.
10 seconds remaining.
Just looking here, tertiary bomb set again, attempted by DC. Newers getting on the solids again. They always want something in the information department. There's the Pulse, the Valkyrie, the Maestro, the Solus, and it's about finding where the plan is going down and when the plan is going down. Also, it gives Newers more roaming freedom. He'll figure out where the drones are, if it's being watched, is it an air jab or a claymore for a jump out to play that disruptive playstyle. So this could just be DC getting a bit more active in the server, which I think they need to do.
Actually, voice are properly.
The space and just keep falling back.
A lot of work to be done on Cafe, especially with these Mute Jammers and the Solus. It's very hard to clear this entire map. From the top down, they will begin, as is often done on Cafe. No Mute Jammers here in Cigar as of yet, though, which is typically where we see DZ put them. So GK get a lot of free info. They spot out the two-brow and a second player, the Smoke, all the way on that top floor on Cocktail. Grubby makes his way inside. How much will GK look to try and actually clear this top floor in a hard sense, and how much will they look to just pressure it? They really do love going for these split-through style pushes, these 3-2-1s.
Probably a half take, right? You take Cigar upstairs, lock down the flanks with the Nomad, and kind of work your way down the staircase, pressure the bomb site, and just kind of look for a gap. With the Selma going off, though, either want to fight for top floor control or just apply that fake pressure, say, hey guys, look at me. Meanwhile, Grubby sneaking up below Cocktail.
Nice two-brow.
Looking to cut the top floor in half. Volt's waiting. C4 downstairs pre-placed with a cat call to pop it. DC know that they're ratting around, but they're unsure of where the push is coming from and when it's coming.
Oh, this is a critical gunfight here. Grubby misses his chance, goes for the re-peek, but DC will fall back regardless. Downstairs, and Grubby eventually goes down. I'm not sure whether he can be revived here. Backstore. As all Nitro cells finished off now for DZ, as they look to try and play Plantanile. And they drop all the way down into the ground floor for Kino and Newers.
It's a tricky round to break here for GK, and they spent 2 minutes doing so, but I will say this was a successful roam clear. Only getting injured from Grubby, now revived back to 20 HP. They have 4 calls in pocket and plenty of util as well. But getting into a plant spot again will be challenging. Newers downstairs can solo lock that down. Well, they have burned away all 3 C4s. Only 1 touch space here left from Gina No Smoke. But I think GK, they have to get a kill to get comfortable enough to go for a plant attempt.
Yeah, you're right. Late round plant will be likely denied by Newers in the basement. He's all the way in prep at the moment.
There.
So yeah, he can deny a plant inside mining. 2 players in dining at the moment. DZ really falling back, wanting to play plant denial as the main priority. They've got info on where it's going down. Is he going to deny this plant? Newers, you're going to let it go down. Instead, it's going to be a retake. They're favoring the information, but DZ march towards the bomb site slowly. Newers bides his time instead of exposing himself early, but eventually he will go down. It's a 2 versus 4 post now. The Sarks and Upor all the way on the top floor. We've seen DZ get these ninja defusers before, and bad timing from Upor puts all on the Italian. 1v3 now. As he gets swung by the first player, Kino will go down to 3k in the round for Sarks. He just needs to buy his team a little bit more time. The J90 will say not today. It's a retake for DZ and a chance now to tie the scoreboard for the North American squad.
Such a hard round once again. The GK get into a plant position, but Uport unsure about the top floor. They were fully cleared. DZ control didn't have the verticality, and then he gets caught bad timing.
Last round GK
the cocktail breach that they made themselves and the top right rotation. Sarks, I mean, was making magic happen finding those 3 picks, but such a challenging round. Plant goes down, Dog dies immediately after. Such a tough spot to be in. What did I say? DC, amazing in post plants. GK, response will call their own tactical timeouts.
So it's equal now.
Yeah. No, open, you have very open to actually make it faster. So it's going to be reading right now, right? Yeah.
I think you can bring heavy utility because they're not like taking the top floor heavy. They're always leaving, even playing the shields, but watch out for the C4s and do the simple execute. I think it's gonna work out. And always remember the flanking pillar, flanking brown, flanking white and red. That's it. Yeah, let's go, guys.
Listen to each other, guys, and it's fucking set.
So a switch up, get on the shields, stabilize the rounds, recognize a DC. They keep falling back and surrendering map control. The thing is, it's a lot easier said than done on Cafe. You're in a very small box. We call it hell in a cell once you drop down the red hatch. And we saw it there from GK and Grobby. They spent so much time slowly inching forward, duking C4s, trying to stay alive, and there just wasn't enough time at the end of the round to get down a solid game plan for that plant.
Yeah, and DZ really loves